The longest high school football rivalry in the state of Ohio had more than just tradition on the line tonight. Troy traveled the short distance to Piqua for a battle to decide the outright GWOC North Division champion. Let's head to Alexander Stadium, and here come the Indians. But it'll be a rough start for the home team.
Decide whether this ball game is going to be tied. The ball is snapped. It's a handoff to Honeycutt. Honeycutt's going for Piqua.
Our players have worked hard enough that we're in a position to be in a conversation, to be the league champs, and to go to the playoffs. So this game has a lot more meaning when it comes down to the final straw. It's just not just a regular game, a regular rivalry. These guys have worked hard. There's going to be a lot at stake.
Troy game personally means a lot to me. Knowing that it's the greatest rivalry in the state of Ohio, not a whole lot of schools get a chance to be in a quite big game as Piqua does.
It just means a lot to get that trophy back, hopefully make the playoffs and get a share of the GWOC North title.
Around here it's like the Michigan-Ohio State game, you know, it's big, everyone's watching it, everyone's got a side, you know, whether you like the teams or not. It's just how it is, it's how it's played. And I'm excited for this Friday.
Troy Street ends here, and a new one begins.
Good evening, everybody. Dwayne Bachman and A.J. Gagnon. A.J. filling in for Bob Luby tonight. 16 seniors will be playing their last game at Alexander Stadium, and they'd like nothing more than to finish the regular season with a victory over the 8-1 Trojans at Troy High School. A victory would not only vault the Indians into the playoffs, but also even the longest high school football series at 64 wins on Rivalry weekend here in Piqua. AJ, you've looked carefully at the statistics for both teams. Now give us your scouting report on what we think is going to be an exciting evening, although it's going to be a little wet, of high school football.
Well, thank you, Dwayne. And yeah, tonight we're looking at a Troy offense that's running a spread H formation. This Troy offense is similar to a wing T type offense in a spread formation. So you're going to see a lot of shotguns, a lot of runs from a shotgun formation. The decisions on who's going to get the ball will actually come from the coach instead of the quarterback himself. You got the H-back, Shane Shoup there that'll be running the ball, as well as Jaden Colt Bishop. One player we are going to definitely have to look out for. The leading rusher in the GWOC had 399 yards on 28 carries and 6 touchdowns against Greenville last week. We are definitely going to have to look out for him. On the defensive side, we're going to see a similar defense to Tip City. Tip City last week ran a 50 cover. They have a lot of guys up towards the line of the scrimmage. A lot of guys, not as many guys, four guys back there in coverage. So, some of their corners and safeties could be put on islands, leaving us open over the top. Tonight, on offense, we are definitely going to have to find our passing game, even though it is rainy and cold. Also, we're going to have to limit our mistakes turnover-wise. And obviously, defense, you got to stop Jaden Cole Bishop.
Well, that's the observations we have from A.J. Gagnon. We'll be right back with more of our pregame coverage on Channel 5, the Indian Nation station, right after this timeout. Welcome back to Perk Field at Alexander Stadium, where you're watching Piqua High School football on the Indian Nation Station, Channel 5. Dwayne Bachman along with A.J. Ganger, who is sitting in tonight for Bob Luby. Well, A.J., looks like it's going to be a very, very inclement evening for one of the best rivalries in Ohio, if not the country. But in spite of everything, we're going to play the game. Let's start with the starting lineups for the Trojans and for the Indians.
Starting on offense here for the Troy Trojans, again, they run a spread H offense. At quarterback tonight, number 15, Brandon Seiler. Running back next to him, Jaden Colt Bishop. Tight end, Spencer Kloffenstein. Running back, wing back will be Shane Shoup, number 23. Wide receiver, Kalu Monroe at wide receiver, and the other wide receiver will be Tucker Rasky. On the offensive line, we've got Jesse Westmeyer at tackle, Marshall Buchman at guard. At center tonight, Riley Hubbard. The other guard will be Jacob Mormon, and at the other tackle will be Nathan Garber. Kicking tonight will be Brandon Seiler. He does the kickoffs and kicking field goals. Punting tonight will be Tucker Rasky. The wide receiver, long snapper, Garrett Jones, number 32. On defense for the Trojans, again, Trojans run a 50 cover defense. At end, we've got Sam Jackson, Garrett Jones, Adam DeCerbo, Zach Neiswanger, and Spencer Kloffenstein on the defensive line. At the linebacking core, we've got Blake Burton and Shane Shoup. Over in the corners, Kobe Feltner and Weston Smith. And the safeties for the Trojans will be Jake Shoup and Jacob Adam. Those are your starting lineups for the Troy Trojans tonight. For the Piqua Indians on offense, Micah Karn coming out at quarterback tonight. Running backs Jarrell Lewis and McKeegan Kuhn. Garrett Shrub at wide receiver along with Owen Toops. On the offensive line, Caden Maxwell, Zane Arbogast. Center tonight, Jacob Strayer. Riley Hill at guard, Caden Clark at tackle, and the other tight end for the Indians will be number 89, Brennan Toops. On the defensive line, the Indians running that 4-4 defense. Jarrell Lewis, Lance Reeves, a defensive tackle, back after a concussion protocol for the last couple weeks. Brennan Toops, the other tackle. Grant Toops will be next to him at end. Linebackers tonight, we've got Matt Blankenship, McKeegan Kuhn. The corners, Craig Hammert and Corrine Coleman, those are also linebackers. The safeties tonight and corners, Zane Booker, Owen Toops, and we'll either have Blaine Uhl or Micah Karn back there at safety. More times than not, you'll probably end up seeing Blaine out there as Micah's running a lot of the offense for the Indians. Those are your starting lineups for tonight's 134th meeting between Piqua and Troy. Mr. Bachman.
Piqua versus Troy will be with you in about 10 minutes to kick it off, but I think first, AJ, we ought to paint the scene here because it's not a pretty one. It is a case of looking across the way, and in a normal Piqua-Troy game, the stands across the way would be half full. At this point in time, I'm guessing there might be 300 people there, and that's a shame because the weather definitely is keeping some people away from Alexander Stadium, Perk Field. The crowd in front of us is slowly filling up a little bit, but it is not a typical night for football. It has been raining. I'm not so sure if I don't believe it's raining at this moment, but it has been dismal. It's been cold, and so that is keeping this crowd of usually in the 10,000 fan range down to probably a couple thousand before the night's over, although we still have a few minutes before we kick it off. So it's one of those cases where it's a shame that the weather is playing such a factor, but you have to play it anyway.
Yeah, you know, too, that the last year's game with Piqua and Troy was the same kind of weather, a lot worse than what it is this season. And again, I think we mentioned earlier in the night, this is probably the 4th game out of 10 that we have seen inclement weather as well.
Yes, it is not pleasant, and again, that's too bad because the players, the fans, the coaches, everybody loses a bit of their enthusiasm, even though it's one of the big games in Ohio. In our intro, we mentioned that 16 seniors were going to be playing their last game here at Alexander Stadium. Let's go through and give you the list. Jake Meyer, Micah Karn, Nicola Medley, Craig Hemmert, Owen Toops, Matthew Lynn, Dylan Motter, Gavin Miller, Jordan Philippi, Trenton Foster, Jacob Strayer, Zane Arbogast, Caden Maxwell, Caden Clark, Grant Toops, and Brennan Toops. Those are the final time tonight. And again, AJ, we were both high school athletes. The final time you put the uniform on, a little bit of nostalgia. It's a tough time, but it's one that we all knew was going to pass. And these 16 seniors hopefully will remember this one because it's against their arch rival Troy, and I know they'd like to come back with a win, a shot in the playoffs, and a chance to even up this series at 64 each.
Yeah, you talk about all of the seniors. Last week they did senior night opposed to doing senior night this week because it is such a big week against Troy. So you get all the emotions out of the way. And tonight you play with raw emotion and hate and anger as you're getting ready to take on your arch rival, the Troy Trojans, for the 134th time.
Well, we've had the coin toss. AJ, how'd that come out?
Troy ended up winning the toss tonight, deferred their choice to the second half. Piqua is going to receive the kickoff, going right to left or north to the north end zone.
So the kickoff will go to Piqua. Piqua, when they win the coin toss, they always defer. Tonight, Troy is going to do just that. Well, you know something, a couple days ago you and I were talking about the Piqua-Troy rivalry, and you challenged me about sharing some of the things that I remember about all the times Bob Luby and I broadcast the Piqua-Troy game, and I indicated that I didn't know if I could remember anything. Well, I happened to go back and found the outline of a speech I made to one of the service clubs in Piqua a couple years ago and picked up a couple of things, and I think maybe they'll be of interest to you. First of all, the most lopsided win in Troy's favor was in 1913.
Wow.
Remembering that the first game between Piqua and Troy was played in 1899. Well, in 1913, Troy 85-0 over Piqua. 4 years later, Piqua got revenge. They beat Troy 66-0. But again, the first game in 1899, Troy wins 17-0.
Wow.
Ironically, the coach at Piqua at the time, that was his only year as head coach. Don't know if the loss to Piqua to Troy had anything to do with it or not. We talked about the number of games played in this series, and I told you earlier that there is a little discrepancy. We indicated that right now Troy owns 64 wins, Piqua 63, and 6 games were a tie. However, in the early 1927, I believe, Piqua and Troy actually played 3 games. 3 games, but the historians argued after it was all over whether all 3 of them should count. They came to the conclusion that the third one would not count because those were teams made up of what they called the city team. It was a conglomeration of high school guys, guys just out of high school. They were known as city teams. That was the third game. They finally resolved it by saying instead of 3, there's only 2. That's why we've got the numbers we've got tonight. So that was even controversial.
And Dwayne, do you know how the rivalry ended up starting? It's all because of a fight over a courthouse. Piqua wanted the courthouse, Troy wanted the courthouse. Guess who got the courthouse? Troy, the city of Troy ended up getting the courthouse there, and just to rub it in Piqua's face that they got the courthouse, they put the lady blindfolded lady on top, Lady Justice on top with her derriere facing to the north to Piqua.
I believe I've heard that story before. There's no doubt that that's probably the truth. A couple notes I've got. The 100th meeting of the Piqua-Troy was in 1985. Troy beat Piqua 26-17. We did something a little bit different in 1985 because it was the 100th meeting. We put together a certificate that we gave out to everybody who paid the admission to get into the game. So everybody had a memento of the 100th game between these two powerhouses. However, anytime I ever talk to anybody, they always say, what's the most exciting play in the history of this series? And I can tell you right now, it was a play that I was there. I was aghast, didn't understand it for a split moment, but it was in 1994. Piqua was behind Troy. Piqua had the ball, and they were driving, and all of a sudden, time ran out. They even shot off the gun or whatever it was, and everybody thought the game was over. Troy was going to win. However, on that particular play, they called a penalty on Troy, which gave Piqua one more shot. Ryan Honeycutt, I remember Ryan, he'd used that play, went into the end zone. Piqua wins the game, and I can tell you right now, AJ, when you looked across, this was at Worth Stadium, of course, when you looked across the way, the Troy people were actually stunned because a minute before they thought they won the big game, and all of a sudden they lost the big game, the most exciting time that we can remember in the Piqua-Troy history.
And you know what's awesome about that 1994 game, Dwayne, is that in our video that we will play here at the beginning of our broadcast, we have your audio from the 1994 game where Honeycutt's scoring a touchdown, and you are going absolutely crazy as Honeycutt's running down the sideline to score that touchdown to win the game for the Piqua Indians.
I'm anxious to see what that looks like, because that was probably the most exciting moment that I remember in my years of calling it. In 2005, another big moment. Jay Pitcock blocked a Troy field goal with less than 3 minutes left, which allowed Piqua to win 13-12 over Troy. Another big momentum. They always, anytime I've ever talked about, they've always said, who are the best players ever to play in the Piqua-Troy series? And I have to say I can't answer that question, because obviously most of those games were before my time. But I said I can answer one other question. If you're asking me who are the best players in the Piqua-Troy game, in games that I saw, I said there's just it's very, very easy. For Troy, it was Ryan Brewer. And again, Ryan Brewer, in my judgment, might have been the best football player I ever saw in high school football.
Yeah.
We simply could not stop him. They beat Piqua in four straight years. So there was a case where Ryan Brewer, best player for Piqua, probably during my time, was Brandon Sane.
Yeah. Brandon Sane was absolutely crazy. Ended up going and playing for Ohio State. Ryan Brewer for South Carolina. And Brandon Sane, I believe, did go to the NFL just for a little bit.
Played with the Packers.
Played with the Packers. Yeah. So, I mean, for somebody from Piqua to go and play for Ohio State and end up going to Green Bay, getting playing time in the NFL, that is a huge accomplishment for Ryan Brewer. And hopefully some of our kids playing tonight, or even as seniors, will have their opportunity at the next level in college to make that impact as well.
And again, in 2014, we honored the 5 high school football players from Piqua who played in the NFL. 3 of them were before my time, but nonetheless, it was those 5 represented Piqua in the NFL. Right now, we're waiting for the national anthem, and the Piqua band in their rain gear are on the field. Both teams are lined up to get ready for the national anthem, and we're waiting now for the band director, Mr. Flippo, to get ready. So everybody at the in the stands has to remove their hats as we play the national anthem. anthem nicely done by the Pride of Piqua High School Marching Band under the direction of Cara Flippo. Well, the officials for tonight's game, the referees Chet Roberts, linesman Todd Bowerman, line judge is Robert Roach, umpire Sean Bowman, and the back judge is Matthew Ferdinand. So glad you joined us, A.J. Gagner and myself, for tonight's ball game. It ought to be a dandy. The Piqua Indians looking to put victory number 7 on the season scoreboard, while the Trojans of Troy 8-1 looking to make it number 9.
And Piqua's also looking for their 6th home victory of the year. They've only had 1 road victory, and that was against Sydney.
It's interesting. Okay, that's good. Let's get ready to kick it off. Indians are going to get the football, I believe, and so the kickoff is going to be by, I think, number 15, Braden Seiler, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's
see what happens.
I believe so, yep.
To say it's a beautiful night for football would be an outright lie. It's a miserable night. As I look across the way, I'm guessing maybe 500 fans in the visitor stands, which is a shame because in most times you got that 500, but you got a 0 at the end of it, and sometimes have as many as 5,000 watching this classic.
Yep.
We're ready now for Braden Seiler to kick off the ball game, and deep for Piqua. We got Foster. We got Toops. There, we had somebody in front of us. Now we've got that cleared up.
Foster, Toops, and Coleman.
We're ready then for the opening kickoff. The Piqua-Troy game marred by inclement weather, but again, as they would say, it's going to be the same weather for both sides. So let's see how both teams handle it. The Trojans have one of the outstanding runners in the GWOC in Jaden Culpa Bishop. Waiting now for Braden Seiler to kick it off.
Dwayne, excuse me. First ever Troy Piqua game on the Indian Nation station, and we get to call the game.
Oh, that's special. That's special. Chet Roberts gives him the whistle. Here's Seiler's kick. It's going to go into we're waiting for the official. I think he called a touchback, so the Indians are going to have the ball 1st and 10.
Let's see what the Indians are going to end up coming out with here, as Micah Karn will lead the troops out. Obviously, we've talked about it multiple times. Indians do have to get this passing game going tonight. Should be, pretty easy if these Trojan corners don't match up well with the Indian wide receivers. But your offensive line has got to give him time.
And again, last week, Micah Karn had a terrific night in the passing department. He's over center. He's going to hand it off to the running back. Let's see who gets off the bottom of that stack.
Coleman
gets off the bottom of the stack. Let's give him a yard. Let's give him 2. We'll be generous. 2nd down and 8.
No bias here.
2nd down and 8 for the Indians as we get this one underway. Play coming in from the Piqua sideline. Indians. 2 wide outs to the near side. Out of the shotgun, Micah Karn. Waiting for the snap.
Toops was uncovered for a second.
Karn.
He's open.
Karn over to the right side, looking down across the way, hits Toops. Hits Toops with the ball, with the pass at the 35-yard line. That was not an easy pass to catch. Karn to Toops for a 1st down.
And Toops was unmanned as he was getting ready to run his route. Just did a nice little slant route over the middle. And like you said, not an easy pass to catch, but as long as Karn puts it anywhere near Toops, he's going to get his hands on it.
And again, like you say, AJ, he was wide open.
Yep.
Might be a hint of what we're going to see here tonight. We might see more passing from the Indians than we see under normal circumstances. Let's see what happens as Micah Karn gets ready for the snap. He's going to keep. He's going to go right up the middle. Oh, he lost the football. Football's on the ground. Let's see who got it.
Piqua got it. Karn fell right back on it.
So Micah coughed it up, but was able to retrieve it. 2nd down. He got 2 yards out of it, but boy, that's 2 yards the hard way.
I like that Piqua was passing there on 2nd down. I believe they should just stick with it. You got soft coverage right now. These Troy corners are not playing straight up on the line. You run your hooks, you run your curls, your slants. You're going to get 4 or 5 yards every time you put the ball on the money.
2nd down and 8. Karn gets the snap. Going to go up now. He's going to roll out, come over here to the left side, trying to get some running room, and he gets running room. Going to be awfully close to another first down, and I think they're going to spot the ball at about the 46-yard line. That'll be enough for another first down. Good offensive start for the Indians, AJ.
Yeah, good job by Micah there. It was obviously the hole was, nothing was there off tackle up the middle. He just bounced it right to the outside, did what he could to get some yardage, broke some tackles like he does all season long to get up a nice first down. So 4 plays, 2 first downs for the Indians already.
Indians up to the line of scrimmage. Toops to the top side, Shrub to the near side. This time he's going to get it off to Blankenship. Blankenship's got some running room. He's off to the right side, gets around the corner, gets all the way down to the 35-yard line, well beyond the stakes. Right now the Indians have got the Trojan defense a little bit confused, AJ. Right now this is all Piqua.
And that was a very nice job by the offensive line with their blocks right there, opening up a huge hole for Matt Blankenship as he was able to pick up at least 15-plus yards.
1st and 10, ball resting now in Troy territory at about the 47-yard line. 3 wideouts to the near side, 2 to the top side. All by himself in the shotgun is Micah Karn.
We saw this last week.
He's going to run it. He's going to go right up the middle. Ooh, had some resistance. Let's see who comes off the stack. I believe it's number 5, and that's a pretty good tackle by number 5 for the Trojans, and that is Sam Jackson.
Yeah, we saw that last week with Piqua trying to spread out that defense of Tip City. They play a lot of guys up to the line, and it worked against Tip City. I'm sure Troy saw that in the film and is able to sniff that one out. I think they're going to have to pass a little bit more out of that 5 wide set, some screens and some slants.
Wide out to the top side and to the near side. Micah Karn again off to the right side, gets away from one tackler, wasn't able to turn the corner. Not sure he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think he should have handed that one off there. Up the middle was open. Troy, again, they're playing very close to the line of scrimmage. Some play-action passes here over the top are going to be open. We just got to get that, advantage right there. Obviously, I don't think we're in 4-down territory back at the 38-yard line with a 3rd and 11. If we get a little bit closer here on this 3rd down play, we might go for it on 4th down.
This will be an interesting call from Bill Neese. Karn in the shotgun. 3 wideouts to the top side, 1 to the near side. Karn back to pass. Little screen pass over to
Coleman.
Coleman's got it. Coleman's going to get some of the yardage, but he's going to be about 5 yards short. So let's see now what Bill Neese decides to do. Is he in 4-down territory? I'm guessing that we're going to see the Indians try to keep possession of the football.
Yeah, 4th, and it's not a short 5 either. It's a long 5.
Yes,
Need to get the ball down to about the 27-yard line. It was a good play there on 3rd and long, trying to get a screen, get Coleman out in open space. Kid's got some speed. You're going to have one of your big plays here because, this is still good field position for a Troy team.
Karn waiting for the snap.
Oh, he moved.
Somebody moved at the line of scrimmage. And I believe that's going to be a 5-yard penalty against the Indians, and that's going to make it 4th down, close to 10. Now the question is, what's Bill Neese going to do? I believe he's sending the punting unit in.
Yeah, you can't have the penalties. We've seen it all year for Piqua. Right there, you had an opportunity on your first drive to score. You're driving. You're putting this Troy defense on its heels, and now Karn's going to have to try to pin him deep with a good punt.
It's a game of opportunity, and Piqua just passed one up. Now Micah Karn going to be kicking from the basically the midfield stripe. Waiting for the snap. He gets it away. High snap. It's going to go down. They're going to let it roll. Going to roll out of bounds. Boy, that didn't go as far as we thought. It's going to be inside the 20-yard line. Let's see where the official's going to put it. I believe they're going to put it on the 15-yard line.
Yeah, nice punt. Still pinning him down inside the 20-yard line. Now our defense is going to have to come out. We had a good offensive possession. Piqua took a lot of time off the clock. We got 6:53 left here in the first quarter. Our defense needs to make a huge stop here and give the ball right back to our offense.
Now let's see if the defense can stop the Trojans and stop Jaden Culp Bishop, who is the leading rusher, I believe, in the GWOC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, by 500 yards. The second place person I got 1,200 yards. Cole Bishop almost 1,800.
Seiler waiting for the snap. He's got it. Gives it off to Colt Bishop. He's going to go right up the middle. He's going to get the better part of 5. Let's see where they spot it. Let's give him 5. Might have been closer to 6. Second down. Let's call it second down and 4.
That was actually Sam Jackson on the run there for Troy there. Looks like Cole Bishop not out there starting this ball game tonight like we believed he would.
Oh my, isn't that a bit of a shocker? Seiler. Oh, Seiler got away from Micah Karn, but only for a split second. He wiggled away, and then Micah Karn put the stop on him, and so that's for a loss. And again, now the question is, where is Jaden Culp Bishop?
Micah Karn played that little viper position there like you see in college football with these colleges like the blitz. Came off the end unblocked, was able to bring Seiler down for a big loss.
Let's call it third down. Let's call it third down and 9. Seiler waiting for the snap, looks to the sideline, gets a play from Coach Bergbacher.
Jackson's still in at running back.
Yes. Seiler's back to pass. A little pass on the left flat, intended for Jackson, incomplete. So the Indians defense doing exactly what we said they had to do, have to shut down the Trojans. Trojans are going to have to punt it away, and the question is, where is number 8?
I mean, we haven't heard anything about him being injured or anything like that. You know what? That was a great defensive possession. Exactly what the Indians needed to do. Get that 3 and out on our defensive line. Did you notice they were getting 3 yards off the ball, getting in that backfield? Great job by the Indians defense.
Seiler waiting for the snap. He's their punter.
It's actually Rasky.
Here's a kick, not very deep, but high. Let's see what happens to it. A big high bounce. Picked up. Oh, Foster tried to pick it up. I think he got it. I think he lost his mouthpiece, but I think the Indians are going to have it first and 10. Going to have it on their own 42-yard line.
Man, Foster really got lucky there.
He got creamed. So now, Piqua offense again, AJ. So far, this has been all Indians.
It really has, and the offense needs to come out and just continue to do what they were doing last drive that got them down the field. Just this time, let's try to put some points up. You know, I believe Piqua scores first in this game after watching that defense play. It's going to be a barn burner.
Karn in the shotgun. Pass to the right flat. Passes over there. I think Toops is underneath the stack. Let's see if that's who gets off the pile. Is it number 15?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Toops caught the pass, but only is able to gain 1 yard. Second down and 9. Well, I think we've seen part of the strategy of Bill Neese. Don't be afraid to put it in the air. Jake Meyer coming in from the sideline with a play from Piqua's Bill Neese. He's out there on the right side with Toops. Karn. Karn handles it off to
Karan Coleman.
Coleman again. Coleman kicks up the better part of 5. Let's call it second down and.
Coleman, your ball carrier.
Well, now they're moving the stake across the way. I think it's going to be third down and 4. Indians right now doing everything we said they had to do. Get tough on defense and keep the ball moving on the offense. Karn. Going to keep it. Going to try to turn the corner. Still on his feet is, my goodness gracious, he's hard to bring down. Brought it down in Troy territory, but he might just be a little bit short.
No, he gave him a first down there. Micah Karn just kept dragging his feet. He is not going to be denied tonight in this game.
Well, he was stopped first, about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. But like you say, he doesn't go down easily. He looked like he got the first down. They moved the stakes. First and 10. Ball resting now on the 48-yard line. Karn.
Troy showing blitz.
With the snap. Trying to look downfield. Now he's going to run. Uh-oh. Hit from behind. Got back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all he got on that one, AJ. Let's see who got off the stack there. I believe it might have been number 52. And if it was, that is Adam DeSerbo.
Yeah, DeSerbo with a nice tackle there. Obviously, Micah, there was nobody open downfield. Good coverage there by the Trojans. Good play call there by Coach Creechy and Troy Uhl. Just needing to, open up this Troy defense a little bit.
Let's see what happens on second down, and let's call it 9. Karn hands it off this time to big number 8, and he is a pile. Boy, 8. Number 8 is somebody that we've watched, Jarrell Lewis. He's one of the better sophomore running backs in the conference. Got, I think we can give him 4. Let's call it 3rd down and 6.
Jarrell Lewis, big key player on that last drive, 97 yards last week. He's just like watching the fridge play out there running this football.
Indians got to keep possession of the football. 3rd down, big possession play right here. Karn. This time he's going to try to go up the middle, gets away from one tackler, but doesn't have much luck. Going to gain 1 or 2, but it's going to be 4th down. And let's see if Bill Neese sends out the punting unit again.
Yeah, I think you got to punt the ball here. There was 2 broken plays on that last drive, or on this drive here. Micah got the 1st down. The other one wouldn't be denied. Jarrell Lewis went the wrong way for this read option play, and Micah just had to make something happen. Good job by him to at least get positive yardage. But, you got to clean up those little mistakes there, because Jarrell could have got that handoff and picked up a 1st down.
So Micah Karn going to be kicking from the 45-yard line. One lone receiver back for the Trojans. Minute 50 left to go in the first quarter. Still no score. Micah Karn, nice kick. Going to go down to the 10-yard line. They're going to let it roll. Going to go,
nice
oh my, picking up a Piqua roll. Is going to go down to about, I'm saying, the 3-yard line.
Yep, good punt by Micah Karn there to pin the Trojans deep. Indians winning the field position battle right now, which is awesome. They've had the ball for a long time. Troy only coming out for their 2nd possession now. They went 3 and out that first time, and we did not see Jaden Colt Bishop, and I don't think we're going to see him on this drive either.
I see number 5, and he was the running back on the first series, and he's back, so that's Sam Jackson. I wish we knew what the story was on Jaden Colt Bishop, but maybe if we find out, we'll pass it along. 1st and 10 for the Trojans, and the quarterback is operating out of the end zone. So the first quarter here at Alexander Stadium, all Piqua. Seiler waiting for the snap. Ooh, gave it over to Jackson. Jackson gets to about the 5-yard line, and that's just about all he can muster before he is dropped down there by Jarrell Lewis.
Yeah, Jarrell Lewis, good tackle there, getting off his spot, and Lance Reeves coming back after, his injury.
Let's give him 2. Let's call it 2nd down and 8, but might be closer to 7. Let's see what the Trojans do. Seiler's the quarterback, and Jackson's the running back.
Lewis again, and McKeegan Kuhn in there too.
So they give it off to Jackson right up the middle, but he got 2, maybe 3 yards at most. I think it's going to be 3rd down and 5. Less than a minute left in the first quarter, still no score, but the Indians have dominated the first quarter of play here at Alexander Stadium. Seiler again. His running back is Sam Jackson. Hands it off to Jackson. Jackson going to try left tackle.
Nothing.
He didn't get enough for a 1st down, so it looks to me like the Troy Trojans are going to have to punt it away.
Good tackle there by Coleman and Matt Blankenship coming in. Just the Indians got 4 or 5 guys just flowing to the football every single play there, Dwayne.
This has been an awfully good first quarter for the Indians. And again, there are some psychological reasons to get off to a good start. And right now, the confidence belongs to the guys in the blue jerseys. Waiting for the snap. It's up. What's going to happen?
This one go out of bounds, too.
Bounce out of bounds at about midfield. So the Indians got the ball. Good field position, AJ.
Yep, second straight drive with good field position. The Indians really just need to get points on the board. That's the end of the first quarter there, Dwayne, as that punt will end it. Who would have thought that at the end of this first quarter, Piqua and Troy would be 0-0, and Troy would only have 2 possessions, and both of them 3 and outs.
I'll be honest with you. I'll bet there aren't very many people on either side of the stadium who probably thought that. But again, Sam Jackson's the running back in lieu of Jaden Colt Bishop, and we're not sure what the story is behind that, but Jaden Colt Bishop last week had over 350 yards, if I'm not mistaken, and so he's not in there, so let's see what happens. And boy, psychologically, is that a lift for the Indians? Absolutely.
You know, there was a couple things during the, that first quarter that I really saw from this Piqua team just all together. They're out here tonight not playing an 8-1 Troy team. They're playing a 9-0, 10-0 Troy team right now. In their minds, we are here. We have something to prove to this Troy team. We've lost 2 straight in the series. Tonight, we're winning this trophy. These Piqua Indians are very confident. We got to keep it up, and we got to limit those fumbles. We had one already. Even though we got it back, we got to limit those. Right now, it looks like we've got to have a man wide open if we snap this ball and throw it.
3 wide outs to the top side. Karn. He's going to get through the past the line of scrimmage. Got some running room. Gets all the way down inside the 40. Whoop, not quite to the 40-yard line. Looks like he's going to get 9. And that's going to be second down and 1. Looked like he wanted to pass the ball. All of a sudden saw a little opening on the right side and got 9 yards. Second down. Let's call it second down and a long 1.
Yeah, he was pressured there by that Troy front line, but you know what? There was a good block downfield. Caden Maxwell, number 66, tackle there, left tackle for the Indians, had a great job setting up a block for Micah to pick up those 8 yards.
2 wide outs to the top side, 1 to the near side. Karn, this time going to go off left tackle. He doesn't go down easily, and he's going to have a first down, and that's going to be a first down for the Indians. They're going to put it in play at about the Troy, let's call it the 36-yard line. This has been a...
Oh, no. Karn's down.
Well, we're going to have timeout while Micah Karn gets the attention of the medical staff. Looks like he's looking at his right leg.
Right, he's pointing towards his knee right there, Dwayne.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Obviously, Micah Karn is the key to the offense. Although we've got somebody waiting in the wings. Blaine Uhl can come in, a young sophomore. He's gotten some action, so we'll see what's happening. Because right now, AJ, I'm not so sure Micah Karn isn't in pain. We'll see what happens as the trainer for Piqua goes out and takes a look, but I'm not so sure, and I'm not trying to be a medical expert, but right now that looks like that is not just a ding. It looks to me like Micah is in pain. Glad you've joined us tonight. Dwayne Bachman, AJ Ganger. AJ sitting in for Bob Luby, and Bob Luby would be as excited about this one as the two of us, because this first quarter plus a couple minutes have just been dominated by the Piqua Indians. And let's face it, a Piqua Indian win tonight does all kinds of things. It probably has to put you in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, this win tonight, Indians, end up pulling this one out. I mean, you got to play 4 quarters. You played 1 so far. There's still 3 left. Now, Micah Karn, he's going to be helped off the field. Let's hope he comes back. I don't know if he's going to be able to, but you know what? I am very confident that Blaine Uhl is going to come out here, rally the troops around him, just a sophomore on this Indians team, and give us a little glimpse of what's to come in the future for Piqua Indians football.
On the bad side of things, Micah Karn getting assisted by 2 players to the Piqua bench, so that doesn't look good because he is limping. Let's see if we can keep you abreast of what happened with that injury as Blaine Uhl comes up to the line of scrimmage. Indians have the ball, 1st and 10. They're on the Troy 36-yard line. Blaine's going to be in the shotgun. Young sophomore waiting for the snap. Back to pass, going to go down the right side, threw it over everybody's head, intended for Shrub. not close enough to pick that one off. It's going to be 2nd down and 10.
It was a good idea there. I mean, if Shrub would have got a better jump on his route, I believe, he probably would have been going for 6 right there. Very soft zone coverage for the Trojans on that play. Good idea. Why not take a shot after your quarterback just went down? So
a little unusual to have a sophomore come in for the first play and ask him to throw a pass downfield, but Bill Neese is obviously pulling out all the stops here tonight. And so far, all the stops have been the right stops. Dropped the ball, picked it up, and he handed it off to one of the running backs. I believe that's Blankenship. No, it isn't.
Coleman.
It's Coleman. Coleman picked up the bobble, but we lost lost a few yards on that one, so it's going to be 3rd down. Let's call it 3rd down and 15. We didn't give up the football, but those are the things that you just can't have over 4 quarters of a high school football game. 3rd down. Let's call it 3rd down and 15. Blaine Uhl. Over center this time. Hands it off to Coleman. Coleman sneaks through on the left side. Got through a bunch of blockers. Got back to the original line of scrimmage. Not quite. Let's call it 3rd down and 11.
That's going to be 4th down.
4th down. So now let's see what Bill Neese decides to do. Boy, the punting team's getting a little workout early, AJ.
Yes, they are. I mean, but again, it's all about field position. Piqua's going to end up punting this one away from about the 37-yard line. Troy is going to be pinned deep yet again, and they have not shown us all game that they're going to be able to move this ball, as Austin Burns is going to come in to punt it away for Piqua.
Burns is going to punt it. That's usually a task for Micah Karn, but he's injured right now. Here's Burns' kick. Line drive kick. Weston's going to pick it off at the 1-yard line. He's going to try to turn the corner. Gets away from a couple tacklers, gets around the corner, gets all the way down to about the 28-yard line, but a flag on the play.
A huge block in the back there by the Trojans.
Let's see what happens as the Indians, again, AJ, we've mentioned it, a score of any kind psychologically would be big. We're threatening, but we can't put one on the board.
On the receiving team, number 40, blindside block.
Blindside block is what Chet Roberts, the referee, tells us. So let's see where they're going to put the ball. They're going to spot it.
Half the distance, so it looks like
they haven't put the ball on the ground yet. They're trying to get the game ball from the Troy sideline.
10-yard line.
Going to be right on the 10. 1st and 10
nope.
for the... Whoa, moved it back another 5. 1st and 10 from the 5-yard line. So the Indians got him pinned back. Now if they can hold him and take it away.
Oh, Colt Bishop, I believe, is back in the backfield right now. First time we're seeing him tonight.
I believe you're right.
He gets the carry.
There he goes. Didn't take him long to make a difference. He went to about the 12-yard line. Let's see how many he got. He got, let's give him 7. Let's call it 2nd down and 3. I wonder if there wasn't some disciplinary action that caused them to keep him up for 1 quarter.
It might have been.
Seiler back over to,
he's going to be gobbled up in the backfield.
Not that time. The GWOC's leading rusher that time didn't see the line of scrimmage, I don't believe. Indians were ready for him. 3rd down. I don't believe the man on the stakes moved at all. 3rd down. Let's call it 3rd down and 4. Seiler's a quarterback.
Big 3rd down here. Need another stop. Make Troy go 3 and out for the 3rd straight time.
Colt Bishop back there. Seiler rolling out to the right side, trying to find a receiver. Got a receiver. Number 2 is going to pick it off. That's going to be Tucker Raske. He's going to have enough for a 1st down. So the 1st down, would that be their first down?
That is Troy's first down of the ball game, Dwayne.
Who would have guessed that?
Right. Under 9 minutes to go in the first half.
Here come the Trojans up to the line of scrimmage. Seiler's a quarterback. Hands it off again to Colt Bishop. I'll tell you, right now, the Indians have got number 8 kind of bottled up. He got a yard. That's about all he got.
Yes, good job there by the Indians. Again, their defensive line is getting a massive push into that backfield, causing all kind of havoc for the Trojans running the football right now.
Trojans Two wide outs to the near side, one to the far side. Silers waits for the snap. He's going to go back to pass. Now he's going to run. Looks like he's going to try to turn the corner. Gets to the 20-yard line. Gets to the 21. Be real honest with you, that was a very modest gain. So, again, the Indians able to take Seiler down after about, we give him 2 yards, and that's being a little bit generous.
That was a great tackle there by Owen Toops on the edge to not allow him to gain any more yardage than what he got, setting up another 3rd and long here for Troy. Piqua has the opportunity now to get a huge stop and get the ball back for their offense.
I'm guessing Jaden Call Bishop is going to see the football here.
Nope, they're going to roll out.
Rolling out to the right side is Seiler, looking for a receiver. Oh, did he catch that ball in bounds?
Yes,
and
apparently
I believe they said he did. Right on the far side of the field. That's going to be enough for a Troy first down. The receiver was number 23, Shane Shoop. Boy, that was not an easy pass to make. It wasn't an easy pass to catch. Trojans turned it into a first down, and now they are back on their own 34-yard line.
Going with some tempo here, Dwayne.
Seiler to Colt Bishop. I'll tell you, he got a couple, but he's working hard for them. Again, let's give him. I guess we have to give him 3 or 4. Let's call it 2nd down and 6.
Now Troy's going to go with a little bit of tempo now. Starting to feel some momentum. They got 2 first downs on this drive. They're only 2 of the game so far. They want to be the first team to score.
I think you're right. Seiler. Seiler keeps it this time. Going to try the right tackle. Gets a couple, but it's still going to be a yard or 2 short. So it's going to be a 3rd down play with a big one coming up here for the Piqua defense. Let's call it 3rd down and 2. Indians need to take it away from them, AJ.
They need a huge stop, but again, 3rd and 2 here. You don't want to give them another first down because Troy could go on a drive.
Seiler to Colt Bishop.
Nothing.
Well, it's going to be close. Let's see where they spot the football. Is it going to be 4th down?
It's going to be 4th and 1.
4th and 1. So now the question is, what is Coach Bergbacher going to do? Is he going to see if he can't get one and keep possession of the football, or is he going to punt it away?
Looks like they're going to bring out the punter here, Dwayne.
I believe you're right.
They are playing field position. That was a huge stop. Colt Bishop looked like he was going to get that first down, but great tackling by this Indians defense.
Tucker Raske going to kick it away for the Trojans. So far, number 8 hasn't been the dominating factor he might have been last week. Waiting for the snap. Raske. Well, something happened. Let's see what it was.
Delay a game, maybe?
I don't know if I see a flag, but if anything, it'd have to be a delay of game, but that's exactly. We'll wait for Chet Roberts to tell us. Delay of game, so that's going to cost the Trojans 5. So no, Raske is going to be kicking from his own 22-yard line. Deep for Piqua. Foster and Toops, I believe. Yes, sirree. So the Indians defense holds again. There's a kick.
Ooh, nearly got blocked.
Yes, see, that was very, very fortunate. Piqua picks it up. Oh, somebody touched that ball. Troy says somebody from Piqua touched the ball, and they covered it, but that's not going to be the decision of the officials. Piqua's going to have it 1st and 10. They're going to have it on their own 31-yard line. Let's see if we can pick up the quarterback for the Indians.
That's the 2nd time tonight that we've gone for a punt and nearly had disaster strike, and we got to limit those little mistakes. If you want to beat a good Troy team, you got to start limiting those mistakes. Uhl's still coming back out at quarterback as Mike is working out that knee on the sideline.
Uhl's ready. He's over center. Wide out to the top side, one here to the near side. Uhl going to hand it off. Hands it off to Coleman, I believe. Yes, sir. Coleman gets let's give him 3. Let's call it 2nd down and 7.
Good run there by Coleman. Shoop comes up with the tackle there for Troy. Piqua is just pounding this football this entire game. You know, a couple pass plays, but they are able to find some running lanes, picking up 3-4 yards at a time. It's really putting this Troy defense back on its heels.
5 minutes left to go in the first half. Still nobody on the scoreboard. Wool over center. Hand off. This time
Coleman again.
Coleman again, I believe, number 25, but didn't have much luck up the middle. So it's going to be third down. Let's call it third down and 5. Right now, the first score of this ball game could be psychologically terrific if somebody can put one on the board. And right now, the Indians, with third and 5, are just trying to keep possession of the football. I can't see down there if Micah Karn looks like he's getting any assistance, or is he probably done for the balance?
Big run by Coleman. He's going to pick up a first down. Little guy fighting for those yardage there on the counter play. Had me tricked. 3
straight calls on Coleman, and he ends up keeping the ball and moving the stakes. 1st and 10 for the Indians. They've got it on their own 44-yard line. AJ, if anybody would have believed that with 4 minutes left to go in the half, there wouldn't be any score in this ball game, would probably be asked to check their local psychiatrist. Here we go. Wool over center. 1st and 10. Wool this time hands it off.
McKeegan Kuhn.
McKeegan Kuhn gets a couple.
He got 9 out of that.
He got a bunch of them. Let's give him, let's see where they spot it. Boy, you're right. 9 for McKeegan Kuhn. So right now the Indians are just playing terrific football. They haven't scored offensively. They've kept them moving. They put the Troy defense on the field a lot. So let's see whether or not there's still time for a score before they go to the locker room. Wool over center. Hand off this time to Coleman. Coleman got a couple, but not very many, but looks like he might have enough for a first down, and he does. First down for the Indians. Coleman getting a lot of action here.
Coleman is getting a lot of action, and you know what's impressive is those are counter plays. They are running some counter plays that we haven't seen from them all season long. You know, you put in this package for Micah, you're in the spread. Now you got Blaine Uhl, different quarterback, different style. He's lining up under center, three yards in a cloud of dust. Old school GWOC Big Ten football we're driving right now.
1st and 10 for the Indians. Wool gets the snap, hands it off to Coleman. Coleman again over left tackle. He got the better part of 5. Coleman's having a good evening. Yeah. He got, we might have to say, let's give him 4. 2nd down and 6, but the Indians moving the football, playing well on defense. 3 minutes, 15 seconds left to go in the first half. Still the scoreboard says Piqua nothing, Troy nothing. This has been a game in which I would imagine fans on both sides of the field were saying to themselves, it might be inclement, but right now this is smash mouth football.
Line it up, hand the ball off, and see who's the better team. They're going to run that same counter.
Oh, this one
he
got away from a couple.
That's a flag.
We got a flag, and I'm almost guessing we're going to get a holding call against the Indians, and I believe that's the call from referee Chet Roberts. Let's see. That's exactly the call, holding against the Indians. 66 picked up that one, and that is one that Zane Arbogast guilty of a hold. It happens. Now the Indians have it 2nd down. Looks like it's going to be 2nd down. Looks like 2nd down and 7 according to the scoreboard as Wool comes in from the sideline.
2nd and 17.
Here we go. Wide out to the top side and to the near side. Other than the first play, we haven't seen Blaine put one in the air yet. Let's see if this is it. No, he hands it off to Blankenship. Blankenship rolls around.
Go, baby, go!
Some of the tacklers. Oh! He got away from tacklers.
Oh, and a penalty flag's going to come in at the end.
Boy. I don't know if you get a penalty for how high the flag went, but that could have brought an icicle. Let's see, it's going to be personal foul, just sure as shoot.
Yep, Piqua players celebrating this one. Going to be unsportsmanlike conduct, I believe, on Troy, or maybe even a late hit.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike on a defense. Number 25.
Sportsmanlike conduct on the Trojans. So, boy, oh boy, that's another big break for the Indians. Now, AJ, we got to put one on the. got to put one in the end zone.
Yeah, I got 2 minutes and 39 seconds to do it. Weston Smith guilty of that unsportsmanlike penalty. You know, Matt Blankenship, he just would have cut it up the field. He had so much green in front of him. Instead, he was running east and west and, just couldn't cut it up the field.
1st and 10 for the Indians. Ball resting on the 29-yard line of the Trojans. Uhl over center. He's going to pass this time. Going to try to pass it to the right side, but threw it beyond the reach of Owen Toops. Going to be 2nd down and 10. That was not a pass that was going to be completed.
And now, again, another good idea after a penalty. You try to take a shot down the field, but, Owen Toops, again, he was just, didn't really get a good jump. I mean, if he would have caught that ball, it would have been 6 points all game long. I think Uhl just still needs to settle down a little bit. All your emotions are running high. It's Piqua Troy. There's a lot of tempers flaring out there right now with that offensive and defensive line shoving after the play.
2nd down and 10. Blaine Uhl over center. Hand it off this time. Hands it off to
Blankenship.
Blankenship is going to go inside the 10-yard line. Another 1st down for the Indians. Looks like it's going to be 1st and goal. Oh, Blankenship's got good speed.
Yeah, he does. Again, another great job. This offensive line all game long of blocking these Troy defenders on the defensive line to open up these huge holes. And when the running backs see these holes, they are busting it wide open. Now, Piqua in the red zone. Got to put 6 on the board here, Dwayne.
Goal to go from the 7. A touchdown would be huge at this point of this ball game. Handoff this time to, big number 8. And again, Jarrell Lewis. Jarrell Lewis gets, I'm not sure he got much.
Sam Jackson with the tackle.
Let's see where they spot the football.
The
football on the 6, so he got a couple.
Yep.
2nd down, goal to go. Jarrell Lewis tried the middle of the Troy line, didn't have much luck, but the Indians are just 6 yards away from a score.
All teams still have 3 timeouts here, Dwayne, as well, under 2 minutes to play.
This first half has gone very, very quickly.
Oh, Blaine's going to keep it!
The keeper. Oh, he was upset by number 20, and that is Blake Burton. Blake Burton saw that one coming. Blaine Uhl ran it right at him, and he just picked him up, and as Bob Luby would say, that was a form tackle.
Yeah, well, it's a good idea, though, there. I like the fake bootleg by Blaine. Blaine really wanted to get in that end zone. You still got 2 tries, I believe, here. I don't think Piqua was going to kick a field goal on 4th down if it gets to that point, but he got 5 yards. That 5 yards looks like a mile right now.
Goal to go from the 5. Uhl over center. Hands it off to Jarrell Lewis. Jarrell Lewis.
He's in. Oh.
Wait a minute. I'm not so sure.
I have
not seen touchdown. I don't believe it was a score.
I was looking at the monitor up here, and he was inches away, but it's 4th and goal from the 1-inch line.
4th and goal for the Indians. Right now, Blaine Uhl. I think Bill Neese is going to say we need a timeout.
Yep.
Well, I think he's really contesting the spot of the ball, but that's probably not going to change, even though Coach Neese isn't happy with it. 4th down, goal to go, ball resting on the half-yard line, and that's probably a little bit generous.
Neese is going to run the clock all the way down to 15 seconds before he takes a timeout. 4th and goal here, 15 seconds left to play, 2nd quarter.
Mind you, a little bit of last week.
This is stressful, man. I don't know if I can do this for a living anymore, Dwayne. I might retire after 2 games.
I'll tell you, this has been a ball game in which the Piqua Indians have been inspired and have come to play, and boy, have they done well. And I would imagine right now the Troy fans across the way, we've had a few more show up since we started this one, but they're probably asking themselves, wait a minute, we're 8-1.
I mean,
we haven't scored. We're at halftime.
You lose to Miamisburg early in the year, 31-14. That was a huge win for Miamisburg. That was Troy's only loss of the season. Right now, I have said it. This Piqua defense is impressing me. They have done it all year long in big games. And you know what? This offense, even though they haven't put points on the board, They're winning the field position battle. When you have a 4th and goal here to almost end the half with 15 seconds left to go, this is huge because you don't get the ball to begin the second half. If Piqua scores here, I guarantee you Troy is going to be shaken in their boots when it goes to halftime.
Let's see what Bill Neese calls.
Sneak up the middle.
Over center. Waiting for the snap. Hand off to Jarrell Lewis. Jarrell Lewis scored! Wait a minute. Yes, Jarrell Lewis scored for Piqua.
What a drive!
My! With 12 seconds left on the clock in the second quarter, finally somebody's on the scoreboard, and the 6 points belong to Piqua. Now, what will Bill Neese do for the extra point?
I mean, you'll have Micah Karn kicking this one, so it looks like they're going to put it on the hash, and the Indians are going to end up going for 2, which again is huge.
So Jarrell Lewis goes into the end zone with 12 seconds left to go in the half, and what most people would say is this really what we expected? And AJ, I'd have to confess, this has been a marvelous effort on the part of the Indians for the first 2 quarters. Now let's see what they do when they try for the 2. Handoff this time goes.
Nope, he's going to pass it.
Going to try to pass it.
Lewis caught it, and he was across the goal line. That should have been 2.
I don't believe they're going to count that.
Wow.
The pass to Jarrell Lewis counted at about the 1-yard line, but
that ball crossed the plane.
Didn't break the plane. So with 12 seconds left to go in the half, Piqua has a 6-0 lead, and they're going to kick it off to the Trojans. Boy, I'd like to be in either locker room for the halftime, because I'm guessing that Coach Bergbacher from Troy is going to have some interesting things to say, and I would imagine Coach Neese is also going to have an interesting halftime, because his kids are playing well beyond what many people thought they were capable of playing. They have dominated the first half of this game.
Yes, they really, really have. Offensively, defensively, special teams, possession. I cannot wait to look at the stats when we come back on at halftime. This has been an all-around great Piqua performance, probably their best performance of the year so far.
Let's see what happens as the Indians.
Austin Burns going to kick it off.
Burns is going to have to kick it off. Usually Micah Karn has a shot at it, but Burns is going to do it right now. Here's the kick. A squibbler. Troy's going to pick it up. That's number, I think it's number 24 if I'm not mistaken, and number 24 is going to be Noah Young. He gets to about the, let's give him to about the 33, 34 yard line, and that's going to be it.
6 seconds.
So the Trojans are going to have the ball for 6 seconds, but I'll tell you right now, when Jaden Cole Bishop came in, they had a spark, but that spark was taken away from them by some good defensive play by the Piqua Indians.
And the spark was taken away quickly. If you're Troy here, I'm pretty sure you're probably, going to take a shot down the field.
Seiler waiting for the snap. No, he's going to give it off to his, there's
Colt Bishop.
Colt Bishop. He's got some running room, and he's going to go around the left side. Is he going to be able to get away? They're going to get him out of bounds.
And that's going to be
inside
halftime.
the 20-yard line. Whoa.
And that's halftime now.
Luckily for the Indians.
There's a flag down, though. This may be coming back.
A late flag means it could be after the play, which means the Trojans might have one more shot at it. That is not good news if the penalty's against the Indians.
It might be a sideline warning.
Oh. Let's see what we've got here. Chet Roberts. I'm not sure this is going to be a sideline warning, AJ. We'll wait for Chet Roberts, the referee, to tell us. But at the end of the half, I think one of the things they're probably determining is whether or not Troy will get another play if the penalty was on the Indians. Let's see what happens.
Dead ball, sideline warning.
It was a sideline warning.
We have a dead ball, taunting 14 on Piqua. Time it already ran out. There's no extension to the period. That's the end of the half.
End of the half. So the penalties and everything being considered, Boy, Colt Bishop went a long way, AJ. And had there been 2 or 3 minutes left on the clock, I'd have been a little bit scared.
Yeah.
At the halftime, Piqua has a 6-0 lead, and a half it was. Well, at the end of the first quarter, with Piqua enjoying a 6-0 lead. Stay tuned for all the halftime activities. Stay right where you are on the Indian Nation station, Channel 5, your home for Piqua Athletics.
Feel my hands on my feet. Brad, you went downstairs and you have your foot covering your hands. I don't like, dude. As true as that is, I believe I'm cold-blooded at this point. That'd be great.
free. Tonight we would like to honor a special veteran from each community represented by the bands before you. First, Mr. Paul Holfinger from Piqua. Tech Sergeant Paul Holfinger graduated from Piqua High School in 1944 and joined the U.S. Army. He served our country in the 230th Army Ground Forces Band and Special Services Division. He was an instrumental musician, electrician, a labor foreman, and a rifleman. He served in the Asiatic Pacific and Kobe-based Japan. Medals include Asiatic Pacific Campaign, World War II Victory, Good Conduct, and Army of Occupation. Second, we would like to honor Mr. Robert Baird from Troy. Robert M. Baird graduated from Cambridge High School in 1948. He has been a Troy resident since 1967. He joined the Army in 1951 and served until 1953. He was originally stationed at Camp Pickett, Virginia, U.S. Army Hospital, then stationed at Camp Kokura, Japan, in Graves Registration. Tonight we would like to thank both gentlemen for their service by presenting them with the United States flag that has been flown over the United States Capitol building. The flags will be presented by U.S. Congressman for the 8th District and also an Army veteran, Mr. Warren Davidson. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to honor all veterans as both bands perform Salute to America's Finest. Please stand and be recognized when you hear your service song. Army. that is free. We would like to close this evening's halftime presentation with a tribute to our country. Please stand as the combined bands play our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
Welcome back to Perk Field at Alexander Stadium, where it's halftime, where the Piqua Indians are holding on to a 6-0 advantage over the Troy Trojans, and the people across the way here at Alexander Stadium from Troy are stunned at the scoreboard simply because Piqua just dominated the Trojans over the first 2 quarters of play. Here with the halftime stats is my partner, A.J. Ganger.
You know what? They're not only stunned over there on the visiting side, but they're also soaked because of all this rain coming down right now. Their dreams may be dashed at the moment. Just like Dwayne said, we've got a 6-0 score here. Piqua leading at the half. Piqua, again, dominant on all phases of the game so far. We had 109 total rushing yards. Troy just had 80, but 66 of those came from Jaden Colt Bishop on 6 rushes in that second quarter. He obviously sat out in the first quarter. We were thinking there may have been some disciplinary action there taken by the Trojans. That's why he was out in the first quarter. Piqua time possession, dominating the time possession, 15 minutes, 23 seconds. Troy just 8 minutes, 25 seconds. 3 penalties apiece, but Troy's penalties have gone for more yardage at 35, and Piqua has 15 yards. Piqua ran Troy ran half as many plays as Piqua did in that first half. Troy was 16, Piqua with 32 for 128 yards total. Troy with just 100 yards total as well. 1 punt return for the Trojans that went 34 yards. 1 kick return for the Trojans that just went 4. Individually, obviously, again, Jaden Colt Bishop, 6 attempts, 66 yards. Matt Blankenship leading the way rushing for the Indians with just 3 carries, 33 yards. His longest run was 21. He is averaging 11 yards a carry. Another kid that I'm really, really stoked about running the ball was Karn Coleman, 9 carries, 26 yards. His longest run of the game was 8. He is averaging 2.9, but you know what? That 2.9 has been amazing when it comes to Piqua trying to pick up those first downs. Again, we were talking about in that first half, 3 yards in a cloud of dust so far. Blaine's thrown 2 passes after coming in for Micah Karn. He's missed both of them. Both of them were kind of deep balls that were just thrown up there for grabs that were just no one could catch them. In that first quarter, Sam Jackson, who came in for Troy's Jaden Colt Bishop, had 4 carries for 12 yards, and Brandon Seiler had 3 for 2, but he was also sacked a couple times back there, one by Micah Karn. Micah Karn, before being injured, he had 9 carries for 30 yards, and he was 3 for 5 passing for 19. Only 5 passes. Troy's only thrown 3, completed 2 for 20 yards. On defense right now, I'm not even going to list individual stats because this Piqua defense in itself deserves all the credit in the world. They have held Troy to just 80 yards rushing. Yeah, that seems like a lot, but Jaden Cole Bishop wasn't on the field, and when he was, they've only picked up 2 first downs before stopping him. A lot of 3 and outs from this Troy offense, and I believe, Dwayne, that if Piqua can come out here on defense in the second half and do exactly what they did in that first half, Troy's going to be in a world of hurt, and Piqua is going to end up coming out victorious in this one.
Well, I think you're probably right. I'm trying to look down at the Piqua sideline. The Indians are in from their locker room. I do not see Micah Karn anywhere, and I'm not exactly sure what that means. I'm guessing that's probably more bad than good news, because knowing Micah, he would be on the sideline throwing the football around, and I don't see him, so we'll find out whether or not he gets back in the ball game or not. Troy's going to get the second half kickoff. They trail 6-0, but the first half belonged to the guys in the blue jerseys, and what a half it was on a inclement evening. The crowd across the way from Troy stunned as to this first half score. Probably a little bit, maybe even on the Piqua side, only because of the low scoring, because I think a lot of people thought there'd be some points on the scoreboard, and they've been rather stingy in that respect. So it looks to me like Blaine Uhl, who was on the sideline throwing some passes to Owen Toops, is going to be back at quarterback, and what a spot for a sophomore. Sophomore getting his first real test, and he's up against the 8-1 Trojans. But he's going to be equal to it, going to be good for a couple years for these Piqua Indians. Again, what do you think the Troy coach might have told the Trojans, AJ? What was his halftime?
Oh, I'm sure Burbacher was just laying into his guys. I mean, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in either locker room right now, especially in the Piqua locker room with all the confidence that these guys have to have coming out of this half. Yeah, you gave up a long run, and there's a penalty or 2 there at the end. But you know what? To put up that touchdown late, that shows that Piqua has the fortitude to come back anytime. When you look back at some of these close games last season for Piqua, they were on the losing end of those close games. I believe they've grown from those games last year, and this season, in close games, Piqua has always came out on top. It may have been late, may be giving people some heart problems down the road. Obviously, the one in Sydney, that was a close game, came down to the wire. The one last week against Tip City where they scored with 9 seconds left gave me and Bob a heart attack up here. I'm telling you, close games this season has been Piqua's bread and butter. They know exactly what to do and how to win close games. And think of it this way, in those close games, they're one-score games. They are very low-scoring, too. They won 14-12 against Sydney. They won 14-13 against Tip City. They're up against an 8-1 Troy team who averages close to 30 points a game. That, this Piqua team right now is proving everybody and the naysayers wrong. And Micah Karn is going to be limping out of the locker room. Still in uniform right now. He's got that knee taped up. I'm telling you, without Micah Karn, I think the Indians are going to be just fine tonight. Blaine Uhl's rallied these troops around him as a sophomore. That shows maturity. It shows growth. These Indians are going to be just fine. But just like we've said, when we cut off the air here, that's just one half of good football. Again, you got to play 4 quarters. 2 quarters down of good football, 2 quarters left to go.
Well, again, I think 2 things come to my mind, and that is Troy's going to get the kickoff. Can the Indians take it away from them without them finding the end zone? That would be huge. And I also wonder if that extra point might figure into this one before it's over.
And that was close, too. I mean, if Jarrell would have caught that ball closer to the end zone, I think he would have got in. I thought the ball crossed the plane after he caught it and had possession. Obviously, no replay in high school football to try to look at that and overturn that call. It could be 8-0 right now. Piqua, basically with a 2-score game. But I believe 6-0. You got 30 seconds here before you kick this ball off back to Troy. A lot of confidence, a lot of momentum on this Piqua sideline. You got to come out and play great defense here to be able to hold the Trojans still off the board. What a night it would be if Piqua were able to shut out Troy.
And again, we're waiting now for Burris to kick it off for the Indians. And again, Micah Karn has been doing most of that, but as you mentioned, he was coming out of the locker room in uniform, but limping, and I don't know for sure, and I'm not trying to sidetrack any diagnosis. It looked to me like Micah probably was not going to be back for the ball game.
And you know, the rain has started to come down a lot harder, a lot more wind blowing here on a drenched night, week number 10 at Alexander Stadium, Perk Field. Wouldn't have it any other way here on the Indian Nation Station. First Troy Piqua game. Just, you know, a pleasure to be up here with you, Dwayne, and I am hoping that this second half is just as good.
Jaden Colt Bishop and Shane Shoup are deep for Troy.
And the penalty at the end of the half is going to be enforced here on the opening kickoff. So this is huge for field position for the Trojans. Colt Bishop is back deep right now. He's standing on his own 30-yard line along with Shane Shoup.
Austin Burns ready to kick it off. Chet Roberts, the referee, gets him the whistle. Here's the kick. Line drive type kick.
Went out of bounds.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Out of bounds at midfield.
It didn't even reach midfield.
I'm not sure it did either. Oh, goodness gracious. Talk about field position. And the Trojans are going to have it. And certainly there isn't any question about them taking the ball where it went out of bounds. Although they're down there right now talking to Piqua's head coach Bill Neese, but I don't think there's anything there other than the ball went out of bounds, and the Trojans are going to have it in Piqua territory.
They're going to go 5 yards, so they're going to put it on the 44.
Okay, so it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Trojans. They got the ball on the Piqua 44-yard line. I don't like the looks of this one, AJ. Now the Trojans might have some spark. Now the defense for the Indians have got to dig it in. Hand off.
Piqua's got it!
Colt Bishop coughed it up on the first play of the second half, and the Indians got it. Oh my goodness gracious! We couldn't have scripted it any better than that.
Oh man, I am getting lightheaded up here. Woo!
So the Indians have the ball on a fumble by Jaden Colt Bishop. Oh my goodness gracious! Now, AJ, how about another score for the Indians?
They need a score here, and in the words of the great Dwayne Bachman, holy Toledo!
Let's see what happens as the Indians come up to the line of scrimmage. Yes, Blaine Ohl is going to be our quarterback, and I think he's going to be the quarterback for the rest of this ball game. He's over center.
This needs to be a drive.
And, Blankenship is one of the running backs, and
Makika Kuhn, I think.
Or is that Kuhn? One of the two. Anyhow, Ohl. Coleman's got it. Coleman over left tackle. Going to get a couple, but they're going to be, now let's give him 2. Let's call it 2nd down and 8.
Zach Neiswanger with the tackle there for Troy. Again, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Football here being played by the Indians right now, and I'm telling you, with that fumble, you need to put points on the board here because turnovers are huge in Piqua Troy games, and we've seen them Piqua's fumbled the ball a couple times, but luckily fell on it. Not the same luck for Troy.
Toops is on the far side. Shrubs on the near side. Ohl over center. Handoff.
Ohl fell on it.
Ohl fell on it. So right now, the ball's probably getting a little bit slippery because that's 2 fumbles within about the first minute of the second half. So back to the original line of scrimmage, going to be 3rd down and 10. Indians need to keep possession of the football, and giving up that 1 down is pretty crucial. Let's see what Bill Neese decides to do. 3rd down and 10. Ball resting on the 43-yard line.
Good awareness by Blaine Ohl to pick up that fumble, though, and get the ball back for the Indians. Still
over
3rd
center. Ohl. Who's going to hand it off?
Coleman.
To Coleman. Coleman gets away from a couple.
First down and more.
He's going to have more than enough. He's in the 40-yard line. Cameron Cole, boy, oh boy, looked like he had him stopped. Maybe at the line of scrimmage. Boy, he's a slippery little guy.
Yeah, you watch this here. Coleman did a nice job breaking a couple tackles. That play looked like it took a long time to develop on that counter, but a good job by the block there. Number 70 on the block, Riley Hill, to get that defender out of the way, and a good burst of speed by Coleman to pick up 15 in a first.
The Indians hold on to the football. Hool over center. Handoff this time to McKeegan Kuhn. McKeegan Kuhn gets to the 40-yard line. A little tougher after that. Let's give him 2. Let's call it 2nd down and 8. Clock says there's 10 minutes, 13 seconds left to go. The first half went by very, very quickly. 2nd and 8. Let's see what Bill Neese decides to do as the Indians mount a scoring opportunity here in the second half after the fumble by the Trojans.
And if the Indians end up scoring on this drive, it's going to come down to that 3rd down play there. Nice run by Karn Coleman with the block by Riley Hill. That's going to be the key play of this drive.
Ooh. Handoff this time goes to Lewis. Lewis.
He lost the ball.
Oh, he lost the ball, but picked up by.
Oh, they're calling him down.
Oh, he was down. He lost the ball, but they said he was down. But a gain of about, let's call it 3rd down and 6. Indians got to keep possession of the football. They might be in 4-down territory here. Play coming in from Shrub from the Piqua sideline. 3rd down. 6 for the Indians. Big play here for both teams.
Another big 3rd down. Indians need to convert on this 3rd down play.
Toops to the top side, Shrub to the near side. This time the handoff is going to go to, it didn't go to, I think it went to Jarrell Lewis. Let's see if he gets off the bottom of the stack. Jarrell Lewis was stacked up at the line of scrimmage, and if that's the case, it's going to be 4th down and 6. Now Bill Neese is going to punt it away.
I agree with that call. You punt it away here. I mean,
you got the 6-point lead.
You got the 6-point lead. Your defense has been playing stout. Jaden Cole Bishop just fumbled the football. You're playing field position, and Troy's average starting field position has got to be down, in the 15-yard line range. So,
Austin Burns going to kick it away. He's standing at about the 49-yard line, waiting for the snap. Here's the snap. Here's the kick. Line drive type kick. They're going to let it roll. Oh boy, it's going to get a Piqua roll. Going to go down to about the 5, maybe 6-yard line. So again, the Piqua defense is going to be asked to put a stop to the Troy Trojans. Troy Trojans have only had one play in the second half, and that was a fumble. So let's see if the Piqua defense can do it again.
Again, Troy, though, is starting back deep in their own territory. The quarterback will be taking that snap close to his end zone. Colt Bishop will be right on the goal line.
Seiler waiting for the snap. Got the snap. Hands it off to Colt Bishop. I'll tell you right now, that young fellow's going to sleep pretty well tonight because he is working hard for every yard, and there weren't very many there.
Yeah, just grab 2 there out to the 9. This Piqua defense, again, when they are firing off the ball, they are getting so much penetration. You look at Troy's offensive linemen, they are on the back of their heels.
So let's call it 2nd down. Let's give them credit for 2. Let's call it 2nd down and 8. Waiting now, I think there's an equipment problem on the Troy side of the football. I think they're getting that taken care of.
Brennan Toops had to run off the field.
2nd down and 8. Seiler waiting for the snap. He's going to try to go around the right side. Got a little running room, but not enough for a first down. So Braden Seiler got a couple, but they're going to be about 3 yards short. Big 3rd down play for both teams. The Indians trying to make them punt, and the Trojans trying to keep possession. Big play right here early in the second half.
Great tackle by Craig Hemmert there on the Indians defense. Looks like we're going to have another whistle here.
Don't know exactly what. Well, just a momentarily a pause, but I think everybody's ready to go. Seiler waiting for the snap. He's got it. Handoff to Culp Bishop.
He's not going to get it.
Well, Bishop,
He may have.
if he got it, he just barely got it. Let's see if they move the stakes, and I don't believe they're going to. It's going to be 4th down, and I don't think there's any question as to what the intention of the Trojans is going to be. The coach is over there trying to figure out whether or not on 4th and 1 he can try to keep the football. Would be bad strategy. They're going to punt it away.
Good call by Burbacher. Yeah, it's 4th and inches, but you are backed up deep. And the way this Piqua defensive line is pushing into your backfield all night long, you don't want to risk anything. You still got to watch a fake.
Tucker Raske going to punt it away. High punt. Going to be picked off at the 40-yard line by Foster. Foster got a little running room, got to midfield, and that's where he was stopped by a host of white jersey. So the Indians defense holds again, AJ. We said earlier that the key to this game would be the defense, and boy, they have not disappointed anybody here at Alexander Stadium tonight.
And you know it's not just the defense, Dwayne. It's also our offense. We're keeping the ball. We're keeping Troy's defense on the field, a defense that plays very close to the line of scrimmage, and we're gaining positive yardage on them. You know, if you can do that with this stacked box every game, you're going to beat everybody. Piqua hasn't been able to run the ball this well, you know, almost all year long without Micah Karn. So I'm telling you, this game, it's all around Piqua right now.
Blaine Uhl is the quarterback. He's over center. Hands it off to
Kuhn.
Coons. McKeegan Kuhn gets to the 45-yard line. Looks like he gained about half of what they needed. Let's give him 5. Let's call it 2nd down and 5.
We haven't seen McKeegan Kuhn running the ball a lot in the last couple games. Good to see him back out there rumbling his way forward, just like him, Jarrell Lewis in that backfield. You got 2 big powerhouse running backs, fullback type runners in that backfield. They can pick you up 5 yards pretty quick.
5 minutes, 40 seconds left to go. 3rd quarter. Piqua 6, Troy nothing. Wide out to the top side and to the near side. Uhl over center. Hand off to Coleman. Coleman tried the right side, got a couple, but he's going to be short of the 1st down. Looks like it's going to be 3rd down. Let's call it 3rd down and a long, long 2.
Coleman wanted that right there. You can just see it on his face right now. He wanted to get bust through that hole. He burst through that hole, but just ran into a brick wall. Good job to pick up short, or couple yards though, to keep it to 3rd and short. Piqua's been doing that all game long, getting in the 3rd and short situations, which is what they need to do. The 3rd and 10s and 3rd and longs, you can't have as a Piqua team, and they're doing a great job.
Got to keep possession. That School goes over center. Hand off this time. Oh, we got somebody loose on the left-hand side, and boy, that hole, that was Coleman again. That hole closed up in a hurry, but I believe the referee says we're going to move the stakes. Whew. That was close. I thought Coleman was going to get about a dozen, but boy, that hole closed in a hurry, but not before he got the 1st down. Ball resting on the 40-yard line.
He needed 3 yards. He picked up 4. Coleman is running with purpose here tonight, Dwayne.
1st and 10. Indians with the football in a 6-0 lead. Blaine Uhl. He's going to pass.
Oh, he's got
somebody loose. He got a pass receiver. That was number 89. That was Brennan Toops. Boy, we haven't seen many passes tonight. And boy, he was wide open. And Brennan Toops picked it up for another 1st down.
They left him alone there in coverage, and Toops just snuck right out there behind the linebackers. Good job to put it right on the money by Blaine. Good job by Brennan, too, to go down after catching that football, gain of 12 yards. I mean, he could have had a touchdown if he really wanted to. The way that ball was thrown, though, you got to catch those balls the only way you can.
Ball resting on the 28-yard line of the Trojans. Handoff this time goes to Coleman. Coleman tries the middle of the Piqua line, and not much there. Let's see if he got what he got. I don't think they're moving the stakes much across the way. 2nd down. Let's see if they give him anything, and I don't believe they are. 2nd down and 10.
Blaine slipped on that handoff there too. I think he was motioning over to his Coach Troy Uhl down there that he may have seen something down there that could have allowed them to change up their play calling just a little bit.
Uhl over center. This time he hands it off to Blankenship. Ooh, Blankenship is getting little or nothing, so it's going to be 3rd down. And we're in 4-down territory, but it's going to be 3rd down and long. They didn't move the stake again.
Yeah, the Piqua offensive line not doing a very good job on these last couple plays. Troy's just blowing them up and not allowing him to gain the yardage. And again, 3rd and 10 here. You're on the 27-yard line. Got to get it down to the 17.
Let's see what Bill Neese decides to do. Toops to the top side, shrub to the near side. Blaine Uhl. Over center. He's going to carry it to the left side. He's going to try to find a receiver.
Oh.
Threw it low and threw it incomplete. Boy, had a receiver who had a step on his defender, but couldn't come up with it. That was intended for Brennan Toops.
You know, he also had Karn Coleman out there. If he would have just dumped it down there to Karn Coleman, there's a lot of daylight in there. Coleman may have picked up 8-9 yards there, maybe not a first down, but, you know, Blaine's got to be able to see that young quarterback. He'll end up getting those reps in, getting that better vision downfield. It's a good idea. Like you said, Brennan Toops snuck out there too, and he was pretty wide open and a couple steps on his receiver. But you got to be able to see those checkdowns because that play was taking a little long to develop. Troy's got a player down on the field right now as we got an official timeout. Guess what? There's only 2 minutes and 39 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter.
And it's still 6-0 in favor of the Indians. A game that has been, for the most part, and I don't think saying dominated by Piqua is an inappropriate word. Troy doesn't have a point on the scoreboard.
They really don't.
Something. So now it's going to be 4th down and 10 for the Indians. And again, let's see what happens as Bill Neese decides on something perhaps special. Let's see who got up. I think that's number 30, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if we can pick up his name. And,
Jacob Shoup there, Dwayne.
Okay, yep, Jacob Shoup was hurt. Walking off the field under his own power. He'll have to stay out for at least a play. So let's see now. This is, to say the least, this is huge, AJ. This is huge. 4th down and 10. And the Indians with perhaps their biggest play. I hate to say it, AJ, this could be their biggest play of the year, although maybe after last Friday night, maybe that wouldn't be very accurate either.
Blaine's going to be in the shotgun, something we haven't seen all night either.
Let's see what they decide to do. Uhl. Going to pass, looking downfield. Going to be sacked for a loss. The Indians are going to pick it up, are going to give it over to the Trojans right at the 30-yard line. Boy, we talked about it early in the 1st quarter, a game of opportunity. There was one that the Indians would have liked to have taken advantage of and were not able to do so. So now the Trojans go back on offense, and now let's see if the Piqua defense can rise to the occasion again, like they have almost every time this evening.
Yeah, that play there from Blaine just took a little bit too long to develop, trying to step up in the pocket and make a play. Troy's defensive line, great penetration.
Let's see what happens as Seiler looks to the sideline for a play. He's waiting for the snap. Handoff. No, he's going to pass it on the flat to number 84. Number 84 picks it off, and that's Spencer Kloffenstein, and he's going to have enough for a 1st down for the Trojans. 1st downs have been rather scarce for the Trojans. That one hurt.
Yeah, just their 5th 1st down all game long, and now they're going hurry up.
Handoff. No, another pass on the left flat. It's going to be ruled. It's going to be ruled incomplete.
No, he picked that one.
Complete pass, but for a yard loss.
Kloffenstein picked that one right off the turf and ended up falling down, like you just said, for a loss.
So suddenly the Trojans taking to the air, which is a little unusual with Jaden Cole Bishop in the backfield, who is not having what you call an all-conference evening. Let's see what happens on 2nd down and 10. Seiler waiting for the snap. He's got it. Hands it. Oh, he's going to keep it. Another pass on the right flat. This one goes to number 23. That's Shane Shoup. Shane Shoup gets the better part of a first down. Nope, they're going to move the stake. 1st and 10 for the Trojans. Suddenly, AJ, and I'm not sure I can explain it, the Trojans decided that their best route to the end zone might be in the air. That is surprising in itself.
Yeah,
quickly
it
up to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
This time it goes to Colt Bishop. He's going to have some running room. He's going to get the better part of 6 or 7 before a host of blue jerseys wrestle him to the ground.
He ran right into McKeek and Kuhn there. Short, quick pass plays here for Troy, getting him down the field right now. Piqua's got to be aware of that. Troy is confusing the Piqua defense because they're using play action. You got a weapon back there in Colt Bishop. They're up to the line hoping he's going to run the ball. When they fake it to him, those short passes are wide open.
2nd down and 4. This time's another pass intended for number 3, and that is Kalu Monroe. He picks it off. He's going to have enough for a first down. My goodness gracious, they're filling the air with football.
They really are. They're completing these short passes again. You know, they're drawing this Piqua defense in with those play action plays to Colt Bishop, and Seiler's just taking advantage of it.
And you're just wondering whether or not they're not setting up something for Colt Bishop. Here comes Seiler again over to the left side, trying to look down.
Oh, get him!
He's going to be sacked for a big loss. A big loss. He tried to find somebody or some place to throw it. Could have thrown it out of bounds, but instead held on to it. And boy, what a loss that was. That was a better part of, I would imagine, maybe
12 yards.
Yes. So that was a big play by the Piqua defense. This time resulting in a large loss. 2nd down and 22 for the Trojans.
Grant Toops did a nice job again. Piqua's defense has been flowing to the ball all game long. Toops gets in there, makes that huge sack for a 12-yard loss.
Let's see what they decide to do. Seiler with the snap. Here's a pass over to the far side to Kalu Monroe. Kalu Monroe is going to get a lot of them back, but they had 22 to get. Looks like he might have had just about half of them. So for Monroe gets the pass from Seiler for a gain of about 10 yards. 3rd down, and I believe that 3 is just about on the original line of scrimmage. So let's call it 3rd down and 10.
And they're going to run this one down. They're going to go in the 4th quarter.
And that's the end of the 3rd quarter. End of the 3rd quarter here at Alexander Stadium. Piqua 6, Troy nothing. And again, we're glad you joined us on the Indian Nation Station, Channel 5, for all of the high school action. And AJ, this has been more than exciting. This has been almost heartbreaking. And again, we still have 1 quarter to go. Right now, the Indians got to take it away from the Trojans, because I'm afraid that 1 point that the Indians missed on their touchdown could end up being a factor here before this evening's over.
And you know what? This 3rd down and 10 is going to be huge. Obviously, Troy's going to probably end up going for it deep in Piqua territory. They're at the 28-yard line. Need to get it down to about the 18 to pick up this first down. Piqua needs to make 2 awesome stops on defense. Get the ball back to your offense. Run some more of this clock off. Pick up some more first downs. Honestly, I really think the Indians are going to need to score another touchdown, or at least put some kind of points on the board if they want to end up sealing this game, because as of right now, this Troy offense on this drive has been doing it dink and dunk, passing plays to their short receivers.
We talked about momentum. Right now, the Trojans have it.
I think they have a little bit. I still think Piqua's grasping onto that tail end of momentum. Now, these next 2 plays, they can pull it all the way back on the Piqua sideline. It's about halfway on the other side of the field right now.
Well, Jaden Colt Bishop is lining up right behind Braden Seiler, and Colt Bishop has been very, very quiet in this ball game. Here he's a
broken play.
Seiler's going to end up going around the right side, well short of the first down. So that was a play that never looked like it was designed on the coach's board, but it's going to be 4th down. Now it's going to be 4th down. Let's call it 4th down and 8. Talk about a big play. Holy Toledo.
Yeah, I mean, Craig Hemmert, Zane Booker there with that pursuit. A broken play. Colt Bishop went the wrong way. Seiler had to make a decision. What am I going to do? This is a big fourth down right here. Indians need to stop.
Colt Bishop is lined up in the slot. Here's a pass on the far side. Incomplete, knocked down. Knocked down by, let's see who that is.
Zane Booker.
Yeah, Zane Booker knocks it down, so the Indians take over. Oh, the Indians' defense has been absolutely phenomenal here tonight.
Zane Booker made a huge stop right there. That pass was going to go out to Kalu Monroe on a little curl route, but he was past that 10-yard marker to pick up a first down. That ball was going into his hands. Booker knew it and did the right thing and just batted that ball down.
But they had Jaden Colt Bishop in the slot here on the near side. I thought they were trying to get him loose, and I don't even think he looked at him.
Nope, he didn't even look that way.
And Booker knocked it to the ground.
11-20
for the Indians.
11-20 left here.
Ooh, over center. Hand off. Oh, that goes to
Coleman.
Oh, the ball's on the ground.
Oh, he was down, man. Yep, they're calling him down. They're calling him down. That's a big play there. Coleman called down after a 9-yard gain.
Ooh,
that is lucky.
That would have been a terrific fumble recovery by the Trojans, but they ruled that Coleman was down. Oh, talk about a big play, JJ. That was huge.
They're wiping him off here on the sideline, trying to get some of that water off him as they put Blankenship back in there right next to McKeegan Kuhn for this 2nd and 1 play.
Poole over center.
Oh, the ball's out
again. Who got it this time?
Blankenship ended up coming with it, but that's a huge loss back to the 31. That ball's just so wet right now, squirting out. Coach Neese cannot be happy with this, as it was a 2nd and 1. Now it's a 3rd and 5.
You're right. That was those two plays were certainly hurtful to any of the offensive efforts of the Indians. Now they've got to come up with a 3rd and 5. I think it's a little bit closer to 3rd and 6, but it's a possession play any way you look at it. Shrub to the far side along with Toops. Let's see what Piqua does with it on one of the big plays of this ball game. Ooh. Gets it off to, I believe that is Kuhn. Kuhn is going to be back to where that play started, but, well, it's going to gain 2 or 3, but it's going to be 4th down. And there's very little doubt in my mind that the punting unit, which is running onto the field for the Indians, are going to put, again, one of the things we said, we can't keep that defense on the field all the time. They've played a lot of defense on the field in this ball game.
Yeah, in the second half, and I mean Troy's defense has obviously been on the field for a lot longer than ours. Ours is pretty fresh, but you got to get a good punt here, not let Weston Smith take this one back. Try to pin them. Burns has got the leg for it.
Austin Burns calling punting from the 20. Weston Smith is waiting for Troy. High snap, but gets it away. Line drive type kick. Going to get a Piqua roll, and they're going to let it go. Going to go out of bounds at the 34-yard line. So the Indians are going to give it right back to the Trojans, and the Trojans are anxious, I think, AJ, to see whether or not they can get their offense moving. They've not done that yet this evening, and Jaden Colt Bishop is certainly not shining as the leading rusher in the GWOC tonight. The Indian defense has done a great job on him.
Yes, they really have, and let's see if they can continue to do it. Troy might start trying to do that dink and dunk pass play again here. We got to be aware of that.
Seiler pass to the right flat, incomplete on the far side. Boy, they like that flat pass. I tend to think that they feel that that's the weapon of choice for the Trojans, even though they've got Colt Bishop probably anxious to get his hand on the football.
And trying to get it out to Kloffenstein there, just underthrown ball.
Quickly to the line of scrimmage. Seiler hands it off this time. No, he's going to keep it again. And got a little running room, but back to the original line of scrimmage. Not much more than that. So, boy, the Piqua defense has just been outstanding. Let's give him one, AJ. Let's call it 3rd down and 9.
Grant Toops did a good job coming in on the blitz, trying to get him in the backfield, just couldn't, but McKeegan Kuhn from his linebacker spot did a great job to come up and limit that to just a yard.
3rd down and 9. Seiler waiting for the snap.
Here comes the pressure.
Whoa! Center moved the ball.
Oh, he knows it too.
The 5-yard line because the official was right there. He moved the football.
The Piqua side here going absolutely nuts down there. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of Piqua fans here, and the student section definitely turned out tonight. This is, an amazing game. Now instead of it being still 3rd and 9, it's 3rd and 14 for Troy. What are you going to do here to pick up 14 yards besides hand the ball up to Colt Bishop if you want? Piqua's going to bring the pressure.
Let's see what Coach Bergbacher decides to do. I would imagine this time they're getting some anxious moments on that Troy sideline. They're going to pass. No. Seiler.
There it is.
Oh, Seiler decked for a loss at the 25-yard line.
Grant Toops with a huge stop there. This Piqua defense, man, all game long, if I had to pick an MVP or, something to give out at this time, who it would go to? This Piqua defense. They are shutting out an 8-1 Troy team. Piqua right now is playing like a GWOC North Champion.
Let's see what happens as the Trojans get ready to kick it away. That's Tucker Raske. He's waiting for the snap. Whoop, high, but he brought it down.
Almost blocked.
Almost blocked, got it away. Not a big kick. Let's see. Oh, going to take a Troy bounce.
A Piqua bounce. It took a Piqua bounce. That thing hit at the 46 and ended up going back to the Piqua 41. Great field position coming up here with 7.5 minutes left to play for the Indians. This is a huge drive, Dwayne. They need to put points on the board.
This could be the drive that's going to win this ball game. And again, AJ, even though we've got 7 minutes to go, if you could score in 4 or 5 minutes, there might not be enough time left for Troy to come back, especially if they have to have 2 scores. This is huge. And now time is becoming a factor.
Yeah, Troy still got all 3 timeouts. You start to wonder, when do you start using those timeouts?
Uhl over center. Handoff goes to Coleman. Coleman trying to sneak through the left tackle. Got a couple.
Karan Coleman's feet are just so quick. You see him go from east to west to north and south running the football as fast as anybody on this field tonight. Even Jaden Colt Bishop, this guy's feet remind me of Jarrell Lewis. He'll be chopping, and then he's gone.
2nd down, let's call it 2nd down, and they call it 2nd down and 8. Again, the Indians with the football. They've got a 6-0 lead with 6 minutes and 56 seconds left to go in the ball game. Uhl over center. Handoff again, this time to Coleman once more time. Coleman gets 3 or 4. It's going to be short of the 1st down, but that's going to make it 3rd down. Look like it's going to be 3rd down. Excuse me, 2nd down. No, excuse me, 3rd down. 3rd down, let's call it 3rd down and 3.
Again, he is just following his blockers all night long, Dwayne. This Piqua offense moving this football. Big 3rd down. Need to pick up this 3rd down, keep that clock rolling, and try to get a score up on the board.
At least get 4 more downs at it to eat up some clock. Let's see what happens as Uhl moves in over center.
Oh, timeout. Timeout,
Piqua. Bill needs to set aside it's with 3rd down and 3rd down and 3. Needs to talk it over. And again, I can understand why. This is a big play, and I think we're in 4-down territory. So right now, AJ, if I'm a Troy fan, I'm over there thinking, wait a minute, what happened here? Right now, these Indians of Piqua are outplaying our Trojans. And they are outplaying the Trojans.
They really are outplaying them all sides of the ball. Offense, defense, special teams. You really look at this night. You come in and, everyone, Piqua has their doubters. But you know what? Tonight is a good night for an upset right now. I'm starting to smell it. It might just be the chicken wings up here, but I'm starting to smell this upset. This big 3rd down play right now, the Indians need to pick this up. There's still 6 minutes and change left to play in this game.
If the Indians can keep possession of this ball, I tend to think the clock is going to become a huge factor. Let's see whether or not they can get a 3rd and 3 1st down. Uhl hands it off. Yes, they got a 1st down. I believe that went to Kuhn. Oh, ball's on the ground again. This time they're going to give it to the Trojans.
Wow.
Oh, my. A fumble. Oh, the Indians are going to turn it over to the Trojans, and what a tough play that was. Boy, the ball's been on the ground a few times for both teams, but that one on the ground that ended up in the hands of a white-jerseyed Troy Trojan really hurt. Oh, my. Especially with the time. There's still 6 minutes left to go in this game.
The way your defense is playing, though, I think you put the game on your defense's back. You have confidence in them right now. Your defense has shown all game long that they're here to play and they're here to stay and beat these Troy Trojans.
Seiler waiting for the snap. He's got it. Hands off to Colt Bishop. Colt Bishop trying to go on the right side, get some running room. He gets to the 40-yard line before he's dropped. Going to be good enough for a first down for the Trojans.
That's one of the few times tonight that he's actually been able to get out in space. He almost took that one to the distance. Good tackle there on the edge by Blankenship to trip him up to not allow him to gain any more yards.
First down on the Piqua on the Troy 40-yard line. Again, hands off. This time he hands off to Colt Bishop again.
Yep.
He's going to get 3 or 4 before he stopped, and it's going to be second down. Let's call it second down. Let's call it second down and 6. The Trojans are wasting no time getting to the huddle because they know that the clock is eventually going to be a factor in this ball game. Seiler with the snap. Going to pass to the far side into the flat. They got a pass receiver who's going to have enough. Well, I think he went out of bounds before he got the first down. It was headed for Kloffenstein, and he didn't get nearly as much as I thought. It's going to be third down and 2.
That'll bring up a third down and 3 for the Trojans.
Yeah, Monroe there stepped out of bounds on his cut, trying to get up the sideline.
Let's see what happens as Seiler waits for the snap. He's got it. Hands off to Colt Bishop.
Good pursuit by the defense. Good job. Grant Toops on that play turned that play back inside. Bishop wanted to go outside. He turned it inside to allow his linebackers to come up and make that huge stop. And for a loss of yards of 2, and now it's 4th and 4. What do you do here, Dwayne, under 5 minutes to go?
I think the Trojans have to try to keep possession of the football, and that's exactly what they're going to do. To say that this play might determine the winner of this ball game might be an overstatement. Let's see what happens. Seiler gets it. He's going to roll out to the right side, looking for a receiver. Got one on the far side.
Monroe.
That was number 3, Kalu Monroe. He has enough for a first down. Oh, what a big play. You think the Colt Bishop was going to get it? No, they decided to put it in the air.
I don't blame them there on that play, putting it through the air. They were still soft coverage. Booker's been playing back all game long. He needs to come up closer to the line of scrimmage. He's getting beat on these little short curl routes. And he nearly knocked that one out like he did earlier here in the second half.
1st and 10 for the Trojans. Seiler hands it off to Bishop, Colt Bishop. He got a few. He bullied his way to the 40-yard line. I'm concerned about a touchdown and an extra point being the difference here, AJ.
I am too.
Let's see what happens as the Trojans waste no time coming to the line of scrimmage. 4 minutes, 15 seconds left to go in the ball game. Indians holding on to a 6-0 advantage. Seiler with the snap. He's got it. He's going to roll out to the right side. Look at somebody was open at the 20-yard line.
And
he gets all the way in for a score. Oh no! It looked like there was a defender right by him. And suddenly he got away from that defender and headed for the goal line. Troy puts one on the board with 3:58 left to go in the ball game. I thought they had him after he completed the pass, AJ, but he sneaked away from the defender.
Yeah,
there's no question about they're going to go for 1. They're not.
Yeah, Shoop there.
There's no reason to go for 2 here.
No, Shoop there was wide open to begin with, and Blaine Uhl just got beat. That ball was a little underthrown, gave him a little bit of time to come back and make that play.
Braden Seiler, left-footed kicker. We're tied at 6, waiting for the PAT.
Need a block.
Somebody moved on the line of scrimmage. Let's see who the...
He missed that extra point, too. He missed it.
Let's see what the Call is by referee Chet Roberts.
This is going to be huge if it's on Troy.
Dead ball.
Nope.
Encroachment on the defense.
Yeah, Piqua boys, a couple Piqua boys jumped offside, I think, and so now it's back to the 1.5 yard line. Still going to be Braden Seiler trying to break this 6-6 tie with 3 minutes and 58 seconds left in the ball game.
Big extra point here. He missed it when he just kicked it, right before the penalty.
See what happens as we're waiting for the snap. Oh, somebody jumped again, but the kick is up. It is.
It's good.
Good. So for the first time tonight, we heard some noise from the Troy side of the Alexander Stadium as the extra point put the Trojans up 7-6. Oh, I thought they had that pass receiver down, and he wiggled away from the defender and took it into the end zone, and the extra point makes it 7-6 in favor of the Trojans. And now, AJ, now the Indians have got to they've got to come back. Plenty of time left. 3:58. Now the defense has been on the griddle. Now the offense is being put under a lot of pressure.
They are being put under a lot of pressure with a young quarterback. You got your senior quarterback out for this game right now at 3:58 remaining in the ball game, down by just one. You don't have a field goal kicker. You got to put this one right into the end zone. You got plenty of time. You got 2 timeouts. The key is going to be Blaine Uhl has to throw the ball and make some completions on this drive.
Foster, Jarrell Lewis, and Owen Toop deep for Piqua. No, that's not Owen Toops. That's Coleman, I believe. Coleman,
Toops, and Foster.
And Foster. As Braden Seiler gets ready to kick it off. The whistle, and here's the kick. Going to go down to the 15-yard line. Picked off by Foster. Foster gets some running room. Runs out of running room at the 30-yard line. So the Indians now, as my ex-partner used to say, 1st and 70.
Yeah.
So let's see what the Indians can do. As the clock says, we still got 3 minutes and 52 seconds. Under normal circumstances, plenty of time, but the clock is going to be a factor here as we get down to wind this thing down. Indians now trail 7-6. Let's see what Bill Neese decides to do with the football. Blaine Uhl, sophomore quarterback over center. Wide out to the top side, into the near side. Handoff goes to Coleman. Coleman's got some running room. Gets to the 31-yard line. Going to get the better part of 6. Let's see if we can give him 7. And I don't think we can. Let's call it 2nd down and 6.
Sam Jackson.
Now the Indians quickly up to the line of scrimmage. Again, wide out to the top side, into the near side. Blaine Uhl. Going to hand it off this time.
And there goes Blankenship! Blankenship's got green!
Blankenship goes all the way down to the 25-yard line. Oh, what a big play. So the Indians are certainly down, but they're not out here as Blankenship takes the ball down to the 28-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Indians. Oh, was that huge or was that huge? Now the Indians got a little running room. Now the pressure's on the Troy defense.
Great job by Matt Blankenship to find that hole and just jet down the middle of the field. I thought he was going to put that one in the end zone.
Oh, hands it off. Hands it off this time to Coleman. Coleman doesn't have much luck. Got to the line of scrimmage. Got a yard, but that's just about it. Let's call it 2nd down and 9.
Still plenty of time here, Dwayne. You don't want to score with a lot of time left on the clock because we know that this Troy team can score quickly. We need to be able to do what we did last week and score with very little time on the clock. Piqua in great position to do that.
2nd down and 9. Uhl, the quarterback, waiting for the snap. Hands it off to
Coleman again.
Boy, Coleman's gotten the ball a lot tonight. He got 3 or 4. Let's see where they spot the football. Looks like it's going to be 3rd down and 6. Needless to say, these next 2 plays are as big as we've had, and we've had a couple big ones during this contest.
We really have here
This
a 3rd.
is one of them.
3rd and a long 5 here. I still think you feed your back around Coleman. He's got to be close to 20 carries tonight, pretty close to 100 yards on the ground as well.
He's in the back field with Blankenship. Oole's the quarterback, waiting for the snap. Crowds come to life. Handoff goes to Blank. Oh, McKeegan Coon knocked down at the 25-yard line for a, I'm not sure he was at a loss, but he didn't gain much. So it's going to be 4th down and 6. And as you might suspect, Bill Neese says, we need timeout. To say that this one might decide this ball game is probably pretty accurate, AJ.
Yeah, this is your ball game here. You got 2 minutes left to go. You just took your second timeout. You got 1 left. This right here, you got to pick up a 1st down and try to keep driving down the field. This is huge right here. You gave up the touchdown. You gave up the extra point attempt. That extra point, that 2-point conversion right now is coming back to haunt Piqua.
That's right. Well, let's see what happens as Bill Neese decides to look into his playbook and see what he's got for a 4th down. The scoreboard says it's 4th down and 7, and needless to say, with 2 minutes, and there's just 2 minutes exactly left in this ball game, this is the one that might decide this one, and this has been a ball game that we're going to remember for a while.
We really are. This has been a great ball game, even if, for both teams. Piqua has done a tremendous job all game long. You're in the biggest play of your season. This is your season right here. A win tonight puts you in the playoffs. This play right here will go a long way.
Blaine Ool over center. He's going to drop the ball. Oh, he dropped the ball, fell on it, but on 4th down, the ball is going to be turned over to the Trojans, and needless to say, AJ, that was a terrible way of having to give up the biggest play of this ball game.
Ool was going to be under pressure when he was dropping back to throw that ball. Had a man open down the field, and Garrett Shrub just fell on that ball. He did the thing he thought he was supposed to do, and I think in that situation, it's a good thing to do that. Troy's going to take a timeout here with 1:56 left.
Troy's got 2 timeouts, and Piqua has just 1, so the timeout situation is not going to help the Indians as the Troy Trojans, boy.
That just took the wind right out of this place.
It did. We didn't even get a chance at that 4th down play, and maybe we can ask Coach Krejci after the game what was the call that never even got to be materialized. So the Trojans have a 7-6 lead with 1:56 left to go in the ball game, but the Trojans have the football, and now the Indians got to see if they can get a turnover to get it right back.
Yeah, I mean, Troy's fumbled the ball a couple times here tonight, so you hope and you pray that this snap is dropped or a misplay and ball comes out. There's still 1:56 left. Anything can happen in a Piqua-Troy game.
Braden Seiler waiting for the snap. Hands it off to his running back, and Jaden Colt Bishop got awful close to a 1st down. Are they going to move the stakes?
Yep.
I believe they are, so it's a 1st down, and that means basically, without any kind of a miscue, they've got the ball for 4 more downs, and that might not bode well for the Piqua Indians. Clock's running with 1:43 left to go in the game. The Trojans are in no hurry to put it in play. The Indians still have 1 timeout left, but it may be enough unless they can force a turnover here on the part of the Trojans. Snap to Seiler. He's going to hand it off to his running back, Colt Bishop.
There he goes.
Colt Bishop is going to go inside the 30-yard line. So Colt Bishop, when they needed a big gainer, they got it from number 8. And that probably is going to wind this one up, AJ.
Yep.
And what a terrific game. Not ending up the way we thought, but it's going to end up in favor of the Trojans. It looks like the Trojans are going to probably be able to run out the clock and go back to Troy with the 7-6 win. But when they go back, you know what they're going to say?
That Piqua team is good.
They're good, and they made us earn every one of those points. We don't want to play these guys again. Here we go. Seiler waiting for the snap. The handoff again to Colt Bishop. Colt Bishop is bullying straight ahead. All they want to do is hold on to the football. And the last timeout of the game for the Indians is being taken right now. 44 seconds left to go. Trojans 7 and the Indians 6. Again, we said it at the time, AJ. Will that extra point be a factor in this ball game?
And it was.
Unfortunately, it was.
It was, and with 44 seconds, you just took your last time out. Really, all Troy has to do is, knee this.
For this great American rivalry series, this will all happen immediately following the conclusion of tonight's game.
Let's see what happens as the timeout comes to an end. So the Indians now are fighting for their lives. 44 seconds left to go. They trail 7-6.
They're going to knee it here in a victory formation.
And the Trojans are taking no chances. And, that's exactly what they're going to do. So the ball game is going to end on a rather sour note for the Indians, but the Trojans are going to say they made us play beyond our expectation, and the Indians are going to be beaten 7-6, but nonetheless have a lot of reason to be pretty pleased with their final effort of this regular season.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a heartbreaking loss here. You're in this game for 3.5 quarters, and a fumble, a turnover. We've said it all year long. You said it all year long that the end result of this game is going to come down to turnovers. And we said it from the very beginning of the year. Both teams had a couple turnovers tonight. Piqua's ended up biting them. I really think if you really look at this game, Dwayne, Piqua left probably about 20 points on the board. On the field, I should say.
And that's the end of the ball game with the final score, Troy 7 and Piqua 6. We'll be back with our post-game guests right after this timeout.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to direct your attention to the 30-yard line for a special trophy presentation. Each year, the winning football team of the Battle of the Miami game between Troy High School and Piqua High School receives an award known as the Trojans Trophy. This trophy commemorates all of the outstanding football contests played between these two communities since 1899. The Piqua-Troy game is the most played rivalry in the state of Ohio, having finished its 134th game in the series this year. At this time, it is the honor of both Piqua and Troy High School to present the Battle of the Miami Traditions Trophy to the player, coaches, and fans of Troy High School. Congratulations, Troy High School.
No way. If he fumbled, yeah. There's no way. If he fumbled in the game, my hands and feet are in perpetual numbness. No, I'll just lose my, lose your feet. Yeah. Yeah, no big deal. I mean, I won't enjoy life ever again, but I mean. Oh, sure.
Like a little, that's not for anybody.
Yeah, no. A little hypothermia never resulted in sadness. We're going to pack up. It does help that I can hardly move my fingers. When you see me,
Fans of the 2018 Great American Rivalry Series, presented by the United States Marines, would now like to honor tonight's most valuable player and award the winning team the Great American Rivalry Series Championship Trophy to commemorate their outstanding performances. First, we would like to recognize the most valuable player. As part of this series, ballots were distributed to members of the media in attendance for the selection of the game MVP. The votes have been tallied, and the winner is Shane Shute from Troy High School. Congratulations, Shane. The Great American Rivalry Series and the United States Marines are proud to recognize the Troy Trojans as the 2018 Great American Rivalry Series champion. Congratulations to everyone who participated, and special thanks to the United States Marines for their sponsorship of the 2018 Great American Rivalry Series. Congratulations, Troy Trojans. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great night and drive safely.
I'm here with our guest now, Coach Creechy. Coach, a 7-6, very heartbreaking loss. Extra point really came back to haunt you. What are your feelings right now at the end of this game?
Obviously disappointed, You can't describe how you feel in a game like this, and something like that happens. We had all the momentum in the world, and, just like any game that you play, you can't turn the ball over. And we had the momentum. We're going to go in and score a touchdown and go up 12, and we fumble the ball, and you can't do that and win games.
What was that call there on that fourth down play where Blaine was getting ready to pass the ball and ended up dropping it? What was that call?
It was a counter pass that we had ran earlier and was wide open, and they defensed it. They did a nice job.
How do you think your offense ended up responding after Micah goes down with that knee injury? Blaine comes out, sophomore quarterback. I think he did a very nice job. What are your thoughts on him?
It's tough. Mick Karn's our best player, and when you lose your best player in a game like this, and we responded great to it. We scored a touchdown. I thought we controlled the second half, and it just came down to one mistake that we make in the secondary, and that's how you lose games.
And Karn Coleman really stepped up tonight too. I love watching him run that burst of speed. Matt Blankenship as well stepped up on the offense. Is there anything besides turnovers that you're really happy about I should say, from your offense?
The way we played, defensively outstanding. That team was averaging a bunch of points, and you hold them to 7.
Yeah.
And maybe they shouldn't even got that. So the defense played outstanding.
Overall, you end 6-4 this season. Had some tough losses. You only lose 1 game here at Alexander Stadium. You played 6 here this year. In normal season, you play 5. What was it like playing, 6 home games this year, getting all of them? I mean, this one would have been really sweet to win this game and upset a big Troy team. But how do you think the season went overall?
Well, you love playing at home. Plus in this stadium, it's great. Sometimes it goes against you because other people like to come here and play. And I had an old coach tell me that it's tough in that time, because people love to come and play here, and they probably play their best here. So. We had a great season, and we would love to get to the playoffs. We were real close. Lose 1 game by 2 points, another game by 1 point. And, we're in there, and we'll always think back about that. And that's what the disappointing thing is. That you always think back of what could have been, and it could have been.
Yeah. Coach, we want to thank you for taking your time all season long, coming and talking to us. Wish you guys the best of luck here in the off season. Again, it was a tough game to lose, but I think you guys really responded well. And we wish you guys the best of luck for next year.
Appreciate your work also, sir.
Thank you very much, Coach. Well, that was Coach Rick Creechy with us, our into the game our guest here. Let's go over the final stats. Again, the final score tonight was Troy 7 and Piqua 6. Troy ended up having 12 first downs. Piqua ended up with 13. Troy ran the ball 31 times for 145 yards. Piqua 51 times for 191 yards. Troy ended up having 120 passing yards. Piqua just ended up with 32. Piqua ended up with 58 plays for 223 yards. Troy 44 plays for 265 yards. 5 penalties for Piqua, only 32 yards given up. Troy with 4 penalties for 40. Piqua held the ball for 28 minutes and 38 seconds. Troy 17 minutes, 22 seconds. Top rusher today for the Indians was number 21, Karn Coleman. He had 25. Karn Coleman had 21 carries, 74 yards. Blankenship right behind him with 6 carries for 65 yards. Jaden Colt Bishop for Troy at 17 carries, 142 yards, did not score a touchdown, and we did hold him to under 150 yards, something Mr. Bachman said we had to do on the pregame show. We had a shot to win this game as well. Receiving the ball, obviously Shane Shoup is actually going to get the MVP award. He scored the game-winning touchdown for the Trojans. 3 catches, 67 yards, 1 touchdown. That 41-yard touchdown pass being the sealer in the game. Owen Toops had 2 catches for 14 yards. Makiga Kuhn had 6 carries for 21 yards. Again, just a very disappointing loss for the Trojans here. Last home game of the season, ended up losing 7-6 to Troy to fall to 6-4 on the year, and the Trojans go to 9-1, clinching their playoff spot. Piqua going to be right on the outside looking in. Troy winning the Great American Rivalry Trophy here tonight. This was our first ever Troy Piqua game here on the Indian Nation Station. A lot of people we would like to thank, and a very successful football season for us here at the Indian Nation Station. All the cameramen, the media classes, those kids came out and did the very great video work for us, helping out with the video board. We want to thank our cameramen for tonight, Austin Jenkins, Bradley Gover, Noah from one of our Media 1 classes, Andrew Weaver being our director for the last 2 home games here, as well as the man behind the camera running audio, directing, everything like that. I want to thank Damian Skeens, media instructor, for allowing us to have all of the kids in his media class come out here on Friday nights and run our cameras and help with the video board. I want to thank Coach Bill Neese for allowing us to film the coaches shows every single week that we have, that we show on Channel 5, and all the seniors that showed up for the senior spotlights. I want to thank Athletic Director Chip Hare for making us everything possible to allowing us to film these games and put them on Channel 5 and our YouTube page for you, the viewers. I want to thank Melinda Silman and her husband for providing all the food up here at the press box all season long. Doug Hem, PA announcer, he's a great guy, does a very good job here every single year at Alexander Stadium. I want to thank Tom Beck running our TriCaster and our video board here for the Piqua Indians all season long. And most importantly, we want to thank Dwayne Bachman and Bob Luby for coming back for their second season on the call here for the Piqua Indians on the Indian Nation station. Again, our final score tonight was Piqua 6 and Troy 7. Piqua falls to 6-4, and Troy improves to 9-1. From everybody here at the Indian Nation station, Piqua Channel 5, it's your home for Piqua Athletics. I'm AJ Ganger saying good night one last time here at Alexander Stadium.